This is Comic Geek Speak, episode 1135, Storytime with Uncle Sal.
Laser beams, opinions like the seasons on everything you read in comics, movies, games, toys, artists, Comic Geek Speak, Comic Geek Speak, Comic Geek Speak, Comic Geek Speak, Comic Geek, uniting the world's mightiest heroes. This is...
I'm Brian Deemer.
I'm Jamie D.
I'm Brian Chrisman.
And I'm Matt.
Comic Geek Speak.
Thanks for joining us. If you haven't heard, that's our new theme song by Kirby Crackle. Check out KirbyCrackleMusic.com to get all 3 of their albums, including their brand new one, Superpowered Love. This episode of Comic Geek Speak is brought to you by SuperheroStuff.com. You know, it's going to be Christmas shopping season soon.
Oh,
I know that upsets you pants
It
greatly.
certainly does.
But it's good for SuperheroStuff.com because they have lots of cool stuff. Matt, did you see these new iPhone 4 covers they have here?
Oh, no.
They have a... let me find it here. They have Green Lantern, Spider-Man, and a nice Batman one.
Oh, I actually like that Spider-Man one.
Yeah, it is really cool. So they have all kinds of stuff: clothing, accessories, jewelry, hats, belt buckles, and stickers, and all kinds of superhero stuff. Right now, they have some specials going on. You can get $10 off an order of $60 or more, or $12 off on any order, no minimum purchase. So go check out the website there. And there's just so much stuff there. So for yourself, for your kids, for your spouse, they have lots of female stuff here, which is very nice. $16 Wonder Woman shirts.
Sexy Wolverine.
That's right. And so just go check it out. They have a warehouse right here in Reading. One of the guys I went to high school with is one of the guys who runs a company. It's pretty cool. So help support them. Thank them for supporting CGS. SuperheroStuff.com. All right, it's been a while. It's been almost a year. It's been like 10 months since we've spoken to Uncle Sal. And so it's time to correct that and have him back on. So here's Uncle Sal. So everybody's here. We got Jamie, we got Pants, and we got Matt.
All right, man.
Hello.
It's like
Hello.
old home week.
That's right.
I feel like I'm at my fucking high school reunion.
Yeah, I mean,
So what you doing? What you doing with yourself?
Right, and all the girls got fat, and and all the guys want to talk about how much money you make and what are you doing now, and it's a miserable fucking experience.
I'm looking forward. My 20 will be this year, like later this year. So
Yeah, most of the guys I went to high school with, I want to run into them. I just have a pizza delivered, and they should, I don't have to go to a fucking high school reunion.
I'm just looking forward to being the skinniest and youngest looking one there. So
Yeah, it's not a pretty
show
sight,
off.
man. When you get some people that are some fucking hard living, I see some people on Facebook that you can't even put. It's like the Crypt Keeper, for Christ's sake. Some of the hottest girls that were in my high school, I see them on Facebook, and I'm like, Jesus Christ. That's like fucking Boris Karloff now.
Did that person eat that person? Good Lord.
I just bad news. You don't know. Oh hey, you got to give them the old. But too much drugs, too much booze, too much. You got to put the dick down once in a while, otherwise, wind up like Tiziano.
yeah, it's been a while since we've had Sal on the show. I mean, we talked to him at every time we go to, but we had him on the air briefly for Seattle. But it's been almost a year, like I think November of last year we talked to him on the air, and we've had Tiz on twice in between there.
Yeah, right. See where your fucking priorities are. see where the love goes. How quickly it just goes away, man. It's like it doesn't take long. It's like boom. It's like as soon as you get the pussy, there's no more Mr. Nice Guy. That's how it goes.
No more holding the door.
That's how it is. I'm sorry. What was your name again?
I would be Jamie.
Why in the... Let me ask you a serious question.
Sure.
Why in the fuck would you have that white-haired son of a bitch on twice in the last year? over me. Can you please explain that to me? Because it's not officially, fall until he quits Fan Expo. Because he quits every fucking year. I mean, 100 times a year he's like, "Oh, I'm not going back. I'm done. I've had it. I'm not going back. I can't." And I'm just like, Tiz, where the fuck are you going to go? You know? He wants me to believe he's the only heterosexual fucking hairdresser in Toronto, which I don't believe, by the way. You know, he should be playing fucking Warren Beatty in Toronto, and he's not. He runs around and posts pictures of his fucking dog, which I'll never understand.
Was it Lulu or something?
Well, yeah, some fucking bullshit. I'm like, Tiz, come on, cut it out. Stop it. You're not quitting that show. You know, you like to walk around and like you're fucking, F. Scott Fitzgerald with the ascot and a fucking cigarette holder when you're at Toronto. And bust people's balls. And then he always puts me next to some fucking foreigner that I can't even talk to at that show. He puts me next to fucking Maleev, okay? Have you ever met this fucking guy?
Yes.
This fucking son of a bitch is like out of a Chanel commercial, this guy.
Yes, he is.
I'm like, I'm sorry, what was your name again? And he looks at you like he's all pissed off because you don't know who the fuck he is. Like I'm supposed to kiss his ring or some bullshit. I'm like, okay, you draw Moon Knight. What do you want from me? You want to kiss? I mean, nice enough guy, but, then the other side is that French fucking guy that draws Swamp Thing.
Yannick Paquette.
Yeah, another jag-off. I'm like, can you put me between two fuckers that speak English, please, and got American passports? That's all I ask for. If they don't know who the fuck Babe Ruth is and Heather Thomas, I don't want to be next to them.
You see Heather Thomas?
Heather Thomas. You don't know? Yeah, you guys ever seen The Fall Guy? No,
Yes.
Then I don't want to sit next to you. Get it?
Well, now you got to see, because I was there for a little bit with Alice Maleev. He was getting some women stopping at that
you
stand.
can't.
Those
He's
were
super
fucking
popular with the
transvestites.
lady.
Didn't you check the upper lip on half of those broads? It's those fucking European Eurotrash bitches that don't shave their bush. That's who he gets coming over. And they want to talk about, I don't know what the fuck it is, Spider-Woman or some bullshit. And I'm sitting and I'm trying to be nice. And, it's these guys that, like, if you don't talk about them, then they don't want to talk to you. It's got to be all about them or forget about it. So I was like, okay. Nice enough guy, but I told Tiz, I said, Tiz, you couldn't find any Americans in this whole fucking show?
Well, maybe there's something against you. That could be that
No, I'm
other
like,
people
look,
are asking.
Look, listen. I don't have a fucking problem. You put me next to whoever. But in the end, it's like these guys, the fucking, the egos. It's unbelievable on some of these guys. And I understand from an artist's perspective, a good deal of that is necessary. But to me, we're just a bunch of jagoffs at a comic show. So I'm not there to kiss your ass and go on and on about your theories of composition and all that bullshit. It's like, oh, hey, how are you? And every time you come back with something, they're like, oh, where'd you get those? Why don't you bring me some? What am I, fucking Hazel? Supposed to bring you almonds? Get the fuck out of here. Bring you almonds. Go suck a bag of dicks. Leave me alone.
A Shirley Booth reference. Wow.
Yeah, I'm like, I say, he does it on purpose. I swear to God, he always puts me next to some fucking Johnny Quest villain. Every fucking time. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Because the guy that runs the Toronto show, he's another fucking guy that doesn't have a shadow. He walks around, you can't even see the son of a bitch.
My favorite part about Tiz at Fan Expo is the week later he always updates his Facebook profile picture with him standing next to some celebrity, right?
Like the kid from
some
Harry Potter.
celebrity who looks like they've just been taken hostage, who doesn't want to be there, who asked him for a chair. They said, hey, Tiz, can I have a chair? Yeah, hang on. You got to take a picture first. Well, can I just have the chair? No, you got to take a picture. So every picture you look at, imagine the guy needed a chair right before you fucking look at the picture. Like, he wants me to take a picture with him and, what is it, the guy from Mission Impossible. What the fuck? The guy,
Martin Landau.
Martin Landau. This cocksucker, I mean, this son of a bitch is old, like beyond old. I mean, like old. I was like, holy fuck, is this guy old? I mean, this guy went to high school with like fucking Buster Keaton. And he's telling stories about how, he fucked, Betsy Ross when she was fucking sewing the flag, and he was at Valley Forge and how cold it was, and I'm just like, Tiz, can you get somebody who's been in a movie like since Raquel Welch was fucking hot, or what? Oh, but what about Space 1990? It never happened, asshole. It was 1999. We're already past it, and we're not living on the moon.
Oh, hey, I got a story for you about a prick of an old guy. So I've done it.
There's plenty of those, man. No fucking shortage.
Yeah, so I'm down at Dragon Con, and Steranko's there. All right?
Oh,
So
yeah.
now Steranko,
Yeah.
Sal, I don't know if you know, but Steranko lives in our hometown here.
Oh, no,
But
I didn't know that.
we never see him because he's kind of like a hermit or whatever.
Yeah.
So I see him, and I walk past his table, and no one's talking to him. So I'm like, perfect. I go over, I introduce myself, and I tell him, I said, I know you live in Reading. I said, and I run a small show in Reading once a year.
Right.
And we'd love if you could come out for, it's a 2-day comp. I said, if you just want to come out for one of the days or even just a couple hours one of the days, I can have a car pick you up, bring you over, just for a couple hours. It'd be great. He goes, well, there's a little problem. He says, see, I charge $1,000 a day for my appearance at a show, and your little show, you couldn't afford that. Well, first of all, he has no fucking idea how many people we have, what my budget is. I mean, if I really wanted to, I could spend $1,000 to get him there, but I don't really want to.
Listen, don't be offended.
Oh,
no. Trust me, don't be offended.
But here's the best part, right? So I said, well, and he's going on, and he's like, see, so, if I cut you a break and I didn't do it, and I didn't charge you, it would be a little ethical dilemma for me because I charge everybody else. I'm like, it's bullshit. You drive out of your house, you come over a mile and a half, and you pop in for an hour, you sign up, shake a few hands, whatever, and then you leave. Nobody fucking knows. Nobody cares.
Right.
But then he says, and really, do I want to come to your show? He's like, I could, this is literally a quote. He goes, I could sit at home and play the fucking piano for 2 hours and have fun. Why would I want to do your show?
Right.
And I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, off the list. I don't fucking care.
Let me tell you something. There's a lot of guys that you're going to meet like that, unfortunately, because there's a lot of guys whose work, at the very beginning when I first started doing shows, I've been doing shows since, as a fan, since I was a kid in the 70s, where I would just go to buy comics. I could give a fuck. And then I started going by portfolio. And the first two fucking meat bags that I ran into, okay, were Neil Adams and Gil Kane, okay? Two biggest pieces of shit that walk the fucking face of the earth when it comes to fans. Now, artistically, they were two of my idols. I could what's not to love about Gil Kane and Neil Adams? I revered those two guys. Treated me like a jagoff. And I learned right then and there that there's just a lot of these guys you just got to accept the art and just not the artist. You just got to leave it alone because there's just a lot of them are like that. They're uppity jagoffs who, reach a certain age. But now, mind you, there's just as many nice ones too. You'll meet some of them that are like John Romita Sr. is like probably the finest fucking guy you'll ever meet on the planet. Nice, kind, loving guy. He'll talk to you. Sal Buscema. I mean, tons of guys like that. Gene Colan was like that. But you're going to run into guys. Steranko's got a history of that, though. He walks around, and that cocksucker thinks he's fucking Ricardo Montalban with the ascot.
Yeah.
And he's got the pink suit. And, come on, he's 3 feet tall. Where the fuck's he going?
And the shoulder pads are what I love.
Oh, yeah. Well, and he drew like 6 comics. I mean, for God's sakes, the guy doesn't exactly have a massive body of work.
He's got a footnote in comics, tremendously fucking overrated. I mean, in his own mind. I like what he did. I loved his Popeye stuff. Not nearly as influential as he claims he is, okay? He's just that type of guy. He's got all these stories about himself. 99% of them are all bullshit. He was a fucking, he was a hitman. He was this. He was that. His face is on Mount Rushmore.
Yeah,
hey, get the fuck out of here.
Escape artist, I think, is the other thing.
Yeah. So you just go. Oh, you know what? You're right. You're right, Jagoff. You're too big for us. We don't need you at our show. We wouldn't be able to handle you anyway. He thinks he's fucking Elvis Presley.
Yeah. Hey, when you met Gil Kane, did he try to steal your portfolio? Is that?
No, he was just a fucking cratchety old fuck. I mean, he was just, rude, and he didn't, the guy was paying 5 alimonies, so it was like, he was all pissed off, and, he asked him to sign something. If you tried to get any kind of a, if you try to say, oh, I really like you, I really admire your work, blah, 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 just, yeah, right. Where do you want me to sign this? That kind of shit. He just wanted to get rid of you. And then when you asked around, that's what people will tell you. They're like, oh, don't take it personal. He's a jagoff. Okay, no problem. I learned that the hard way. The first 2 times, I was like, holy shit, are these guys jagoffs? But Steranko, I've heard that story from a lot of people. That have said, hey, forget about it. The guy's an asshole. Don't even bother approaching him.
Yeah, I just I wasn't surprised. I wasn't surprised. I was just a little disappointed that the guy lives in Reading and
let me tell you something.
He couldn't even pop over for 2 hours.
This guy's got nothing going on. I don't know. Some of these old guys, they sit around all day and cut their toenails and watch Judge Judy. They ain't bullshitting anybody. Time for Wapner. Who the fuck's he kidding? Come on, cut it out. Where the fuck's he going? He acts like he's Bob Guccione, for Christ's sake. Fuck out of here. Walks around with the ascot and a pink sweater, and it's like, come on, stop.
His hair, he's trying to make up for his shortness with his really tall hair.
Yeah, like I said, some of these guys, you see them, and out of respect, I'm nice to them. If I see them, hello, how are you? But if they pull the attitude stuff, then it's like, then they're like your high school principal at that point. You just get out of here. I don't have to. When you're younger, you got to put up with that shit. You reach a certain age, you're like, I don't got to listen to this shit. I'm at a comic show. Like the guy's asking me to get him almonds. Get out of here. Fuck out of here. Get you almonds. Fuck do I look like?
Get him some what is it, cyanide, right? That smells like
Jamie
almonds.
Walking around, fucking threatening people. Jamie was walking around like he was doing collections. I was like, look at this fucking guy. I'm thinking, do I owe this guy money? Because he's coming around and he was pissed off every time I saw him. He was mad at somebody.
Were you angry, Jamie?
Yeah, I was definitely pissed.
He was pissed about something. I don't know if he got a watercolor from Maleev and Maleev told him to fuck off or what happened. But
he didn't say I was pretty. That was what it was.
Is that what it was?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Some of those guys, it's like you try to start conversations with them and you go, oh, God, this was a mistake. Should have stayed the fuck out of this one. It's like one of those bad foreign movies where you're halfway through it and you go, holy fuck, what did I get into with this shit? And we got to see how it ends, but you're like, there's no ending to it. It just goes on forever. But that's my buddy Tiziano's fault. Oh, I put you next to 2 winners, he tells me every year. I go, thank God I'm not on the fucking Titanic. And this asshole's handing out fucking, like assignments where you're going to sit. Because I wouldn't make it to one of the lifeboats, believe me.
You're in the lower decks with the...
Yeah, I'd be in the fucking lower decks with those Irish pricks dancing.
I can't get out of the gate. Come on, open the damn gate.
Trying to fuck somebody in a car, It's like, why would you have to go on the Titanic to fuck somebody in the back seat of a car? You could do that in a Cutlass here in Chicago.
Oh.
So anyway, guys, right about now you're figuring out why you haven't had me on for a year.
No, stop.
No, stop.
It's like that ex-girlfriend that you go, hey, we should get together again. And then after about 10 minutes, you go, holy fuck, now I remember why I dumped this bitch. Holy shit. Oh, I remember that laugh. Oh, no, she wants to borrow money all the time. Oh, fuck, that's right, vaginal warts. Fuck. God. Fucking crotch crickets again. Motherfucker. Those Puerto Ricans.
I don't know where to go from there.
I was going to segue into asking how the baby was, but I don't know if I should go there or not.
My son is he's at the talk backstage. Imagine where he got that from. He asks me, he tells me how to drive, what I love. 4 years old, tells me how to drive. My daughter's 1. She's great until 2 in the morning when she turns into a fucking fire engine. Screams and pisses all over the place. but and I'm like right now I'm talking to you through glass, like we're in prison. I put my hand up on the glass, and I'm guys, live for me, will you please?
You got it.
Go out and do those things, and because it's like around here, I got like 30 minutes a day, and I can actually fucking construct a thought. The rest of the time it's what? Or stepping on a Hot Wheel car, or watching some fucking nauseating cartoon, for the 75th time, and that's just the shit my wife watches, or she was watching Dancing with the Stars, I think, when I walked out of the room. Can someone please tell me when the fuck Chaz Bono turned into Ernest Borgnine? When I was a kid, this fucking broad was a little kid on the Sonny and Cher show, right? When you'd watch Sonny and Cher to try to catch some bush shots of Cher. She was fucking hot in the early 70s, let me tell you. Now, forget she looks like fucking Bela Lugosi. But in the 60s, fucking Cher was this tremendous piece of ass, right? So she'd bring out her daughter at the end of every show. Now she looks like my Uncle Nazy, for Christ's sake. I'm like, holy fuck. I'm like, when did this shit happen? Where was I? Oh, she had a sex change. Yeah, but the only difference is now her tits are hairy like mine. She's got the same fucking figure. And that's got a cock? Can you imagine? I'd kill myself. I'd kill myself. Put her at Guantanamo Bay, and those fucks would come running out and tell you where every fucking bomb is. They go, hey, that's it. Oh, that's all. No Geneva Convention, no fucking nothing to sign. Fuck all that prayer shit. Just get me out of here.
Oh, my God.
Have you seen this fucking beast? Is she a fucking beast, or am I out of my fucking mind?
I haven't seen it, no.
She's a fucking beast. I mean, and she's got a haircut like fucking Elvis Presley, and she's a fucking beast.
It is kind of scary. It really is.
It's like, what the fuck happened?
I mean, I'm glad if this makes her happy, that's great. But oh my Lord.
It makes her happy. What, if you're Godzilla, it makes you happy?
Hey.
Okay, listen. Personally, I could give a fuck. I'm just walking through the room, and I go, what the fuck is that? Who is that? Who is it? Then she explained it to me, and I go, you got to be fucking kidding me, right? And then they talk about the shit in comics isn't real. And it's like, this makes the shit that fucking Xavier's got over there look like kid stuff. The blue broad that changes? Cher's daughter's a guy who looks like my Uncle Nazy. Now, which would you fucking believe? That or a blonde that turns blue who could fucking turn herself into anything? Well, I'd fuck her while she's blue. Doesn't make any difference. That's the part that kills me. You ever see her in the movie and it's like, oh, I don't know, I have to change my shit, no whatever. I'd give it to her blue. No problem. She's walking around naked.
Yeah, it's Rebecca
She
Stamos.
looks like half the Pakistani broads in my high school. No fucking difference.
Oh, boy.
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Oh, you don't have to apologize.
Let's change the subject. Talk about something serious.
How was San Diego? Is that what you were going to ask, Pants?
About 52 or some bullshit.
Pants, what were you going to say?
I was going to say, have you been reading any of the new DC 52 books?
I gotta say, I was at the comic store, and I said, you know what, I gotta at least check all these out and see what the fuck's going on, so I know. And is that, I gotta say, I mean, I like some of the stuff. I like what Rags is doing. He's a great artist, but there was nothing to me. If they were gonna, and I hear they're doing well, which I think is great. I hope it all does well, but. When I saw, in JLA, you got the model sheets and everything in the back where Jim Lee literally wants everybody to look like fucking Jim Lee drawings, that I didn't understand. And also, to me, if they would have asked me, I just thought there was a little more of ambitious routes they could have taken in terms of varieties of artistic styles and things like that. But, hey, what the fuck do I know? I hear it's selling. I hear it's doing well. So, it's good for comics. Then, hey, I think it's another one of those, marketing devices that's going to be here and gone in a year. Once they get to issue 4 with a lot of things, that shit's going to because you get a lot of speculation the first couple issues.
Yeah,
you got a 40% buying of guys that buy it to resell it or CGC it, which is or just do, like we're back to the 90s again. It's the same shit. So I really liked what DC did with the Wednesdays comics thing, and I thought that if they would have taken that approach to getting much more of an eclectic brand of styles and bring in some more heavy hitters, or at least try to bring in, more heavy hitters. Nothing wrong with young talent, but, stay away from those fucking foreigners and bring in, bring in more heavy. But again, I think this time next year we'll be talking about it like, it's another one of those marketing devices that just kind of came and went. Hope it does well. I mean, I don't really, know much about the state of, what's going on with comics. I know the numbers are kind of obvious that they're hurting, but everybody knows that. In the past 5 years, of numbers have been, I think all the online stuff they're doing is cool, but I don't know. What do you guys think? You guys are much more in click with that stuff than I am.
There's a lot of good books. There's a lot of so books, and a couple that aren't great. It's just a great big. We're halfway through the new issues, and we've done about 4 shows on them already. And there are some really good ones, some not so good ones, and
the Entertainment Weekly guy I was reading said that the thing that's obvious about him is how mean a lot of them are, how adult oriented, and how brutal and violent most of the stuff is.
Yeah, I will say that there are a lot of more mature themes for certain. A lot of they don't shy away from it. It's not like a Hitchcock flick where the stuff that happens off screen. There's a lot of stuff happening on screen, which I have noticed. Most of them are like rated T for teens. Yeah, so
right.
there's really not a lot that I would hand a little
kid.
They
were saying there's none of them you could even show a kid.
Yeah.
Which kids don't, kids don't want to see Olmec cornholing anyway. So, fuck do I know? That one I did notice, because I noticed that the guy's doing his Kirby riff, which I kind of like, because I was, I liked Olmec, but I was a Kirby guy, so. But, hey, again, I'm in their corner. I want everything to do well. I don't know if, how much, wasn't there some problems, I guess, with the online shit because of the pricing or something? People were a little pissed off with the online stuff being just as expensive or something like that?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I'm firmly in that camp. If you're going to charge me $3 for something that has to get printed and shipped halfway around the world, and you're going to charge me $3 for something that gets digitally delivered to me, for half a cent, I have a problem with that,
Yeah, or I would think I would think half is usually what they go with. Half price of whatever the printed stuff is. The online stuff, I don't know. I mean, I still haven't jumped into the iPad. I was at the Apple Store this weekend. I had to swap out AT&T because I just couldn't fucking take it anymore. I switched over to Verizon. It's just, my God, it's AT&T. You may as well just yell out the window. It just got to be. I just couldn't fucking. And I'm not one of those guys who's constantly tweeting and whatever and all that shit where every 30 seconds they gotta have their phone up their ass and stuff like that. But there's been many times when I've been in the middle of important phone calls and they've been dropped and you call again and they can't hear you and it got embarrassing with fucking AT&T. And so it took me like 15 minutes to switch over to Verizon. So I was looking at the iPads and I thought, I still think it's a few years away, but I think you have to implement comics into the iPad. It's impossible. You're ridiculous not to do both, at least from a tool standpoint, to help market it. You should have both formats. A lot of the old timers will tell me I'm crazy. They'll say, "Oh, fuck that! I like the old stuff." So do I. I like the old style too. I always feel comics have to be a textile kind of a thing where you have it in your hand, but you can't ignore. The world we live in, with my son telling me how to drive and fucking stepping on Hot Wheel cars all day,
I got to ask, what was he telling you? What were you doing wrong that he was telling you how to drive?
He's never thrilled about what direction I go. He's fucking Magellan, this kid. He's like, why are you going this way? Why don't you go that way? I said, why don't you? And I said, I tell him what my dad used to tell me my whole life, which is shut up and look out the window. No, Daddy, you don't tell me to shut up. That's a bad word. I go, okay, you're right. Because at school, he's at Montessori school, Japanese, which is like all James Bond villains, when you go to school. All these fucking rods with sponges and robes and playing guitars and pictures of Mount Fuji out the window. Take off your shoes and say, hey, listen, listen, I'm paying you fucking $1,300 a month. I ain't taking off my fucking shoes. $1,300, I'll pull my pants down if you guys want to check my hernia, but I ain't fucking taking my shoes off. Fuck out of here with that. Here's the kid. Goodbye. And everything is with an argument. Everything with this kid is an argument. Why do I got to do this? What do I got to do that for? Well, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do this. I don't want to sit there. I want to sit here. Everything's a fucking discussion. Everything. And you just get to a point where you know how it is. You just don't say anything. You just go, yeah, okay. Now I know why my father never talked like the first 20 years of my life. Because, he was usually so aggravated with all the shit we were up to or into that he didn't want to, blow up. Well, we don't need to go this way. Why don't we go the other way? What are we going this way for? It's like, listen, we're not fucking. This isn't fucking Escape from Antietam. We're just trying to fucking go to school. Okay? Just stop it. For 3 more blocks, you'll be playing with Mr. fucking whatever Lulu, the toy with the blocks. Costing me a fortune to teach you how to color outside the lines. And, you don't have to give a shit. But either way, once I drop them off, you hear squealing tires in the parking lot. I'm fucking pulling out of there. I'm pulling out of there like I fucking ran out of money at a whorehouse. I'm just fucking running out of there. One shoe on, and then when I find out there's no school, I'm just so depressed. Shit! What fucking holiday? What are you talking about? That's always my reaction. Well, you knew that it was going to be, because they take more fucking holidays, I swear to God. They take off fucking Hanukkah. You're a fucking Japanese Montessori school. What fucking Jewish holidays do you guys need to observe around here? Okay? Benihana's birthday? Okay, I understand. The Crow is on TV? All right, maybe. But what the fuck? It's like, why do you guys need all these holidays off? I need my fucking sanity. I need my back issues of Busty. That's all I need. Which hasn't been formatted for iPad yet, by the way.
You've been looking?
I've looked for the retro back issues of Busty and, and Crack and all those other ones, And Tiziano's got like this world-class collection of Blue Boy, 3 Men in a Barn, shit like that. Because I love it when you go to fucking Toronto. Have you ever been invited to any of these fucking parties at Toronto?
No.
Okay. You don't realize how fucking lucky you are. Okay, because I go, guys, I just want a fucking gyros, and I want to be left alone after the show. That's all I want. And they invite me to these fucking parties, because nobody wants me at these parties. These are all like a bunch of ass kissers and a bunch of people in the business that want to act like they're important and all the rest of this shit. You go to these fucking parties, and then you walk in, and you're just like, Jesus Christ. It's like, I was depressed before I got in. Once I walk in the fucking party, then I'm really depressed. I'm like, look at all these jagoffs. And they're all a bunch of fucking Canadians on top of it. So they want to talk about fucking hockey. Okay? Now, I happen to grow up in the Midwest, and I followed the fucking Blackhawks my whole life. But to Canadians, nobody knows hockey except them. Because, we don't have TVs here in the United States, And if we wanted to invade, when would they stop us? What? When we hit water? There's nothing. They would be like, what? Just go ahead, take it. We don't care. Nobody works here anyway. Don't worry about it. So they tell me, you're American. You don't know anything about hockey. And I'm like, what the fuck does that have? What are you talking about? It's like me saying you're Canadian. You don't know anything about wars. You guys stand around and got brown uniforms, because green, there's no green in Canada, I guess. And if you ask anybody from fucking Toronto or about any other city, they hate every other city. That's the part that kills me. Because I love Toronto, but if I go, hey guys, I heard there's a show in Calgary, there's a show in Montreal, there's a show, I ask about the other cities in Canada. They talk more shit about the other cities than anybody that I know. If you go, hey guys, how's Calgary? Oh, Calgary sucks. You don't want to go to Calgary. It's cold, and they got stop signs, and Yeah, and you're like, what are you talking about? I heard Calgary's nice. No, you don't want to go to Calgary. You go, what about Edmonton? Oh, Edmonton sucks too. You don't want to go to Edmonton. So I'm thinking, wait a minute, where's the love here? I thought Canada is like, with the leaf on the flag and all that nice stuff. Where's all the love with this? No, not with these guys. So I usually think, all right, let me get the fuck out of here. Find an all-night breakfast joint, jump on a fucking ranchero omelet, and get out of here. All I want,
Yeah,
But I heard you guys had a fucking shindig or something. Somebody told me about it the next day. You had to get together, but I guess my invite got lost. So.
Oh, no.
Don't
It
even
was...
effing go
Listen,
there. I
had
invited
one
you.
fucking guy come up to me. Jamie came by like he was the guy checking the gas meter, okay, every fucking 20 minutes. Never told me about a party.
Oh, don't even go there.
Okay. Pants, forget it. He's the guy walking. He's the guy walking around like someone's looking for him to kick his ass. He's like, hey, I'll see you in a minute. I gotta go. I'll talk to you later. And he's fucking running out of there. Okay. Brian's walking around with a fucking briefcase. Hey, hi, how you doing? Like, I feel like I'm gonna get served with papers every time I see Brian. I'm like, oh fuck, who did I fuck over? Oh.
I don't even own a briefcase.
He comes over to you. He's like, hey, and he looks around like someone's listening. He looks around. Hey, you got a minute? And you're like, yeah, why are you whispering? What did I do here? What do you want to buy Coke? What is this? I haven't dealt with a guy like this since I was buying Quaaludes, 1979. He's like, yeah, you got a minute? I'll talk about it right here. Everything's all fucking cloak and dagger. I was like, oh, yeah, sure, go ahead. I was waiting for like a star, a throwing star, to be in the back of his head or something when he turned around and just fall. Like fucking assassins are after him or some shit. And then here comes Jamie. And Jamie's got a club when he walks up. You go, oh, fuck. Did I borrow him? He's like Kingpin walking around the fucking show.
I'll take that.
He's like a fucking Daredevil villain. Every time I see him, I go, oh, shit, here comes Jamie. I'm in trouble. And none of the other guys talk to me, so it doesn't matter. Everybody else is like, oh, hey, hi, how are you? Oh, fuck, here's Sal. I'll pretend like I don't see him. Oh, hey! Because when I see a couple guys at shows, like James the T-shirt guy and some of those other guys, nice guys, but when you run into them, you'll lose about 3 hours of your life talking about, I don't know, fucking soybeans or some bullshit or fucking, I don't know. Fucking some fucking bullshit NASCAR race or something. You go, hey! You go, fuck. We could stop and tie my shoe. Maybe he won't see me. Because when I run into Chris Roop, it's the same way. I run into Chris Roop, he goes, yeah, we just ordered a pizza, and we were looking for somebody to go pick it up. And I go, what? So now I'm Benson all of a sudden? What the fuck? I'm like, where the fuck did, Sal's name come up to go pick up a pizza? I'm like, Chris, you got me confused with somebody else. I wouldn't go pick up your fucking pizza if you told me that there was a fucking a CTA bus full of fucking hot bitches that wanted to insanely fuck me if I brought them a pizza right now. Much less this hillbilly jagoff from Ohio to bring him a pizza. Go pick up your pizza. I go, where do these fucks come from? Then he comes to Chicago for WizardCon, which is as big as my sister's wedding now at this point. Just as many jagoffs, by the way. And he calls me up. He goes, listen. He pulls a Brian like he's real mysterious. Listen.
Pulling a Brian.
I'm like, it's the telephone, asshole. What else am I going to do when you say listen? What the fuck else can I do? I can't watch you. Just say it. Just fucking say it, for Christ's sake. Like my wife, the second time she got pregnant, she thought we had to get married again. It's like, no, just fucking say it. So he's like, listen, I'm having a hard time finding somebody to work the booth for me. So I was wondering, I go, you don't. So let me get this straight. You're here selling fucking back issues of variants of shit that nobody wanted 20 years ago, okay? And now you want me to work the booth for you? What are you, out of your fucking mind? At WizardCon? I'm like, Chris, stop it. I mean, I don't, not as much as I wouldn't mind escaping. I wouldn't mind playing Steve McQueen and taking the motorcycle over the fence a couple of days around his house. Believe me, I'm ready to fucking build a rocket ship in my yard at this point. You know, you ever see those fucking? Yeah. Now I know how fucks wind up. How did this? What possessed that Jagoff to build a rocket ship? He was married. Usually, had a couple of kids. Like Frankenstein. Frankenstein stayed in the fucking castle because he was married. He just wanted to get the fuck out. I know. I'll cut a guy and fucking sew them together. And, hang around with one of these Jagoffs that looks like one of these fucks at Toronto Con. At least I get out of the fucking house a couple hours a day. So the villagers come with the torches. I'm married. What the fuck are they going to do to me? Even the Wolfman. I take the Wolfman. You know what? What? Every time, once a month I go kill some Jagoff? Who cares? The rest of the month, nobody bothers me. I wake up. Oh, where am I? Oh, I'm bloody. Well, fuck. That's another Saturday night in Chicago. Who fucking cares? Creature from the Black Lagoon. He's got it fucking good. Okay? Bottom of a fucking hole. Nobody bothers him until the hot bitch with the fucking bikini comes down after his ass. And who fucked up his situation? Some broad. Can you imagine his reaction? He's fucking sitting there enjoying himself. He's going, who the fuck is this now? Oh, well, that's not bad. Well, I don't have a dick, so I can't give it to her anyway. And he's on a boat with a Puerto Rican guy. Oh, fuck. You got to bring a Puerto Rican into the jungle.
Oh, boy. I saw Chris at the Dragon Con.
You know what? Dragon Con is probably that show I've heard about, longer than any show that I think I've ever done. That thing's been around forever, and I've never gone.
It's Mardi Gras for geeks.
I gotta say, for whatever reason, I've never made it down there. I've heard about it for years. I mean, I'm going back to like the early '80s. People would say, "Oh yeah, the one in Atlanta," and like with Charlotte, I'll ask, and then sometimes people say, "Oh no, it's worth doing," and other times people tell me, "No, it's small. Just go if But see, I don't get invited to a lot of these shows. So if I go, I got to go, on my own dime and pay for everything myself. So if I want to go on my own, then it's fine. But if I got to go with the Alex Ross Love Nest, then they fucking charge me for garbage cans and folding chairs and everything. Oxygen, for Christ's sake. Oh, you're with Alex, right? Oh yeah, cost to breathe in here. Union charges. We got Teamsters that have to come in and check the carbon monoxide levels, shit like that. So I usually just say, "No, guys, I'll just fucking stay home."
You've been breathing too much in this area. We're gonna have to.
That's right. You. It's not a lot. How tall are you? Oh, well, there's a variance. If you're over 6 feet tall, you got to pay extra. Like the San Francisco Con, where they charge you 3 times for electricity. It's amazing how they've risen. How fucking extortion has been risen to an art form with these guys. They've figured out all the fucking angles. And, you don't like it, they tell you right out, fuck you, go home.
Jeez. We got really lucky in Toronto because Archie was supposed to have a booth, and they backed out. Archie
Comics?
Yeah.
Yes.
And
Jughead and all that shit. Isn't Reggie gay now or some bullshit?
Somebody's gay.
No, seriously. One of the fucking characters is gay now. Somebody told me this.
Kevin
fucking
Keller.
Chaz Bono or some bullshit.
It's a new character called Kevin Keller, and they're getting married.
Who's getting married?
Kevin Keller.
Kevin Keller will be getting married in a gay marriage.
To who?
To another guy. I'm
who,
assuming.
Mr. Weatherby, or who the fuck is marrying? Moose or what?
I do not believe so.
I don't know, man. I don't know. All I know is that we used to want to fuck both Betty and Veronica when I was a kid.
Well, of course.
Yep.
They had it over Wilma and Betty at some point. I don't know if it's 10 or 9. You just go, oh, fuck, look at that. But the gay thing, I don't know. But I hear Archie's still like the top-selling comic or some bullshit like that, right?
I think it is for the in age groups.
Well, because they're all over there at grocery stores or bookstores, comic shops.
We usually get a couple.
Toys R Us.
We usually get a couple copies in the store, and they always sell. Yeah. People come in, we put them up front where they can see, and it brings the kids in. Actually, brings the parents in.
I think it's a lot of bullshit. If you want to know the truth, every time I hear that, it's the biggest selling comic. Who the fuck do you know that bought an Archie comic? 3 people. You know, find me 3 people that right now in their house got a fucking Archie comic. When we were kids, my sisters had them, but I don't know anybody that buys that shit anymore. I think it's all propaganda. I do. I think it's all bullshit. It's like those Olsen twins are billionaires. Get the fuck out of here with that shit. You know, oh, they got a clothing line, and they got, with who? Who would buy clothes from these 2 skanks? You always hear about how wealthy they are. You know, I'm like, get out of here with that shit. Now, who started that rumor? Them? They got one show they were on 20 years ago when they still shit their pants, and they haven't done anything since except fucking meth and walk around like vampires.
Walk around.
You know? You ever see pictures of these 2 broads?
Yeah.
How they ought to be ashamed of themselves. They're like those fucking meth heroin bitches you see in New York on the fucking Lower East Side. Look like Kirby villains, for Christ's sake.
Oh my goodness.
With the dark eyes and everything, I can see that.
Yeah, they're like 3 feet tall. They walk around with these platform shoes on, like they're fucking, you know, Superfly or fucking Isaac Hayes from Escape from New York. And everybody's supposed to go, ooh, the Olsen twins. Get out of here. Fuck out of here. One of them looks like the broad on the Wendy's sign. Okay? The other one, I swear to you, looks like one of those crack whores you see when you're at Emerald Con walking around downtown Seattle. The ones with no teeth that come up to you and go, hey, do you know Jesse? No. Oh, Jesse, took my virginity. I know. Tried to put a finger in my ass for a bag of heroin. I told him no. You know. So, now, did everybody go to Dragon Con or no?
It was just me. I actually went for vacation. Tasha and I went down there for fun.
Down to Atlanta?
Yep. Yeah.
Hot down there, ain't it?
What's that?
It hot down there?
It was warm, but we didn't have the humidity. So it was in the 90s, but thank God they had it. Yeah, well, they did it. The humidity broke while we were there, which was a blessing because I absolutely hate the heat and I hate the humidity, and we got a little lucky, so it was all right.
Yeah, this is it for me, man. This is my last week at home, and then I got like 4 fucking trips in a row I got to do between now and the end of October. It's like, you know, bang, 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 and then I'm home for the holidays. But it's just a crazy month this October.
Is that going to Luca somewhere in there?
Yeah, well, I gotta go out to San Diego. I gotta sit down with the show guys, you know, to go over for next year for Comic-Con, and then we got the Andy Warhol thing at the beginning of October, the Alex Ross exhibition at the Warhol Museum, which I, you know, fucking been killing myself on for the last year. And in the middle of the month is New York Comic-Con, which hopefully it'll be as good as last year's. You know, last year was kind of weird because they were off for 18 months. And nobody really knew what to expect, but it was great last year. But we'll see what happens this year, and then Luca at the end of the month. And hopefully I'll still be alive. Because last year, I swear to God, I had fucking chest pains. I mean, I really did. I fired those fucking guys right at the end of the show. I said, the guys, I'll fucking do this out of a suitcase next year if I have to. I got to work with Tiziano and Roop. Again, and then who's the asshole that fucking hires them again this year? Sounds a lot like me. So I'll have to lance a boil on my ass, I'm sure, by the end of Luca. You know, I'll be fucking shitting venom. You know, yeah. You look in the toilet, it looks like venom. It really does. It's all fucking got a face and all fucking splattered and trying to climb out. And it's usually from these guys. They fucking drive me crazy. Tiziano has to have a fucking cigarette every 20 minutes. He's like Carol Burnett. He's outside fucking standing there. And then when you wave at him, come here, he waves back at you like you're saying hello. Like, yeah, I'm lonely, Tiz. I'm saying hello. Chris Rube stands around with a clipboard, okay? That's the part I love. There's nothing on the clipboard. He pretends like he's writing every time you look at him. Like he's Dr. Kildare or something. He's getting ready to go into surgery. I look at him, I go, what the fuck is with the clipboard? I'm the only guy that's sitting there busting my ass. We get a couple of these locals, and you know how the Italians are with fucking getting some work done. Yeah, there's a reason why they were out of World War II in about 15 minutes. Because they were like, what? We got to do what? No. Fuck that. I'm going home. And the German said, okay, leave the rifle. And it gets bigger every year, man. They moved our spot last year, which I was a little nervous about. They moved us right in the middle. They keep us, they got us in a tent with Panini and some of the other big Italian publishers. But a lot's changing, man, because since Disney took over Marvel, and they're going to handle their own distribution, and a lot of those companies that relied on a lot of, they did some of their own stuff, but they also supplemented like Panini did tons. I would say probably 80% of their stuff was all American stuff. They're going to lose all the Marvel stuff. So it'll be interesting to see what happens to a lot of those Italian publishers that were over there doing translated, editions and that. So.
They're losing the Marvel contract?
Yeah, it's already started. I mean, they were doing a lot of trades. Last year they do a lot of they were doing mostly DC. I'm sorry, mostly Marvel. And then I forget the other company that was doing mostly DC. I think it was Delcor. Was doing all the DC stuff, but a lot of these companies just decided, fuck it. Disney, before they bought Marvel, they did all their distribution on their own. They didn't have a distributor. And then when they bought Marvel, the writing's on the walls. I mean, it's just a matter of time. So Panini had certain, additions that they kind of put together on their own, but they had to kick Marvel the royalty. So it's just a matter of time, till a lot of those publishers start to have to produce their own, material, or, they're gone. There used to, God, when I started going to the European shows, there were tons of small publishers, and most of those are gone. They dried up. There's just about maybe like 6 or 7 big ones now, and that's it. Because everybody with a business card over there and a fucking beret thinks he's a publisher. Hi, I'm Pasquale. Yeah, go ahead. They want to walk around with a fucking, they got a poodle under their arm or some bullshit. You go, yeah. Don't, Alex ain't coming. So you can stop the conversation right now. No, he doesn't want to draw, whatever the fuck it is. They don't want me, so I have no delusions. But it's a good time, and this will be, God, I forget what it is now, our 5th or 6th year. So, but as long as I don't have to see Simone, it'll be all right.
Yeah.
One of these years, Tasha and I will get there.
Yeah, it's a good time, man, but it's crowded as shit. So if you want to walk around the village, and you want to walk around like fucking Earl Ives, like Jamie, it's tough. There's a lot of fucking kids, a lot of pushing and shoving, a lot of bullshit. You can't get by, And sometimes I just want to go take a shit, and man, you barely make it, You have to leave to go take a shit like when you think you might have to take a shit in like an hour. Because I've had it where you feel it coming out like, oh, fuck, I got one in the chamber. And then you get up, and I used to go back to the apartment. Because if you want to use the porta potty, forget it. It's like a fucking autopsy in there. You walk in and you go, Jesus Christ. It's like something from Seven, And so I go back to the apartment, and just to try to, get your way there, it's like, fuck. You just can't do it. It's impossible. So you're literally running up the stairs, using like 2 fingers as a plug to keep you from shitting your pants. And you got to just sit on the toilet and shit with your coat on because there's no time to take the coat off. There's no time to put the keys down and pick a magazine. No, there's none of that shit. You're reading the toothpaste tube while you're sitting in there. You barely make it. And then you got all that funk, that weird European-looking shit. Like, what is that? What? What did I eat? What is that? It looks like a DeSoto hood or something. See, like a hood ornament in there, like a Mercury or something. Oh, that must have been that boar that I ate. You eat like shit. Your body goes, what the fuck is this? Boar. Why is he eating boar? Because fucking Tiziano ordered it and didn't want it or some bullshit. You wind up eating 50 times a day, and there's all those Marvel jagoffs are there, and they're fucking, they buy all those horrible, all that horrible lunch meat, You got, fucking pig heads hanging when you walk by. Thank God my relatives were smart enough to say, let's get the fuck out of here. No, it's nice, but, after a while, I'm like, all right, let me get the fuck out of here. Let me get back to,
Yeah, but they can bring that with them. My buddy worked next to, he's Italian, and his parents are from Sicily. And he said every once in a while in his mom's freezer, like there's an entire goat head in the freezer. Like,
no, they're
like,
crazy.
that's
the
just
fucking
normal.
Sicilians, because my family's all Sicilian. The Sicilians are like the crazy fucking Italians.
Yeah.
I mean, they're lunatics. Because I just took my mother to the feast, and these jagoffs been here since the 50s. And my Uncle Mariano still doesn't speak English, and he's been here since like 1957.
Yeah.
And my mother always says, "You got to give him a break. He's only been here 50 years." And I mean not a fucking word. Like if you start talking to him, he just starts nodding no, like he doesn't understand you. Like you're with immigration or something. I'm like, hey, asshole, you've been here since the 50s. Nobody fucking cares. And if they were going to throw you out, I'll call them now to tell them to come and get you. If there was a chance that they would get your greasy ass out of here. But it ain't going to happen. So why are you worried about speaking English? What, do you think the Italian army's going to come grab you? Don't worry about it. Nobody gives a fucking Sicily. Because Sicily is like, phew, that country never woke up. Everywhere you go, anywhere you go in Sicily, they're still sleeping. Nobody wants to work in Sicily. It's like Puerto Rico with red sauce. They haven't done a fucking thing since the Nazis left. You know? The Nazis didn't even clean up since the Nazis left. It's like, I ain't cleaning that shit up. The Nazis left it there. You know? Fuck those guys. You know? It's not The Godfather, believe me. Everybody watches The Godfather and goes, ooh, look at Sicily. Are you fucking kidding me? I went and saw my own village. I was like, you got to be out of your fucking mind. It's like going to Ohio. You know? Never been to Ohio?
Yeah.
Central Ohio?
No.
I'm going to piss off the whole state of Ohio now. But, you know, not a lot going on. You know, I went to where Roop lives in Fremont, and it's like, wow, okay. You know, why go to Mars? You know, just go to Fremont, same shit. You know? You walk outside and you go, okay, well, you can go in now. You know?
Now you know why he goes to Wizard World, Philly, Chicago.
Now I know
and
why
stuff.
he's at Wizard World Chicago.
Yeah,
you
just
know,
get the hell out of there.
selling back issues of Death Star or some bullshit. You know, some book nobody wanted from fucking 30 years ago. You know, Jim Shooter was the editor on some bullshit. You know. You ever run into fucking Jim Shooter? Not a handsome fucking guy by any stretch.
No, but he's huge.
Now,
That's the whole
Calvin
thing.
Klein's not calling with this fucking guy. He is not a handsome fucking guy. He's like Two-Face, only both sides. He's like one face. You know, he got his face held down in the gas on both sides. The Joker treated his face like he was fucking, you know, dusting him for fingerprints. He rolled his face all the way across. Not one side.
Like his face was set on fire and put out with a wet brick?
No, he just like somebody jumped on his face with golf shoes. You know?
Yeah. I think he might have had the acne when he was a kid. You know?
And I could say this because, you know, he's a jagoff. He's another guy that when I was going around my portfolio, he's mean to people. He's rude and mean, and and he's 75 feet tall. You know.
Yeah, he's kind of huge.
Yeah, he's like Stiltman. You know. And you ever see that cover of Stiltman with Daredevil? That's Shooter. If you look close, that's him.
Oh, man.
Not
How did we get so far off topic?
I don't know.
What is on topic?
Yeah, it's
We
true.
don't even.
Stiltman in Sicily. You know, how did we get on this fucking subject?
Well, I had a question. Oh, go ahead.
No, Jamie, where's your family from?
It's middle of Italy. It's above Rome somewhere. I'm not sure exactly.
Yeah, there you go. Well, those are the civilized people.
Yeah, that's why I look down on Sicilians.
Thank you.
Listen, they're all fucking farmers.
I'm kidding.
I know.
Joking. Sicilians.
They're all farmers down there. Believe me. It's nice country, but my grandma always used to tell me, listen, don't go down there with any delusions. The reason we got the fuck out of there and came to America was because they were starving. After they were agricultural people, and after the machines started to do all the farming jobs, and then just very, very poor. And when you see Sicily in the movies and all that stuff, you romanticize it, and then you go down there and you go, man, oh man, this is not like regular, the boot. It's not like regular parts of Italy. It's very fucking poor down there, and I just wasn't ready for it. It was like, holy shit, my family really, got the fuck out of here out of just, starvation. So,
Yeah, that was.
and now, Dad and they wanted me to come here and read comics. Or to Wizard World Philly.
Now, you mentioned before about you're going to San Diego for a meeting with the Comic-Con people. What do they want to hear from you? I mean, I'm sorry. I mean it in a very good
What do
way.
they
I'm
wanna
sorry.
hear from you,
I'm sorry. It came out so wrong.
you jag
I'm
off,
sorry.
you.
I'm sorry.
See what I mean? You see how this works?
sorry,
See how quickly the worm turns? No, it's like. Are you finished?
Hey, I'm done.
I've been an exhibitor with these guys, like 12, 13 years now, and since it was a regular size show, and the guys that work there, I've become really good friends with. When they come through town, I take, we go out to dinner. When I'm there, I always try to sit down with them and have dinner. And there's just a lot. That show is just, as you could tell from, it goes through lots of changes every year. Lots of movement. Lots of, the whole identity of the show keeps constantly evolving into different things. And they've asked me for a lot of years, hey, you should come out, on times other than the con, because you see the show. It's impossible to talk to people at the show. Mm-hmm. It's like a fucking clusterfuck when you're at that show. You can't really get a chance to sit down and have meaningful conversations because everybody's busy. Everybody's getting pulled in 10 different directions. Everybody's, got an agenda and they're walking around or whatever, and they got booths to run. So I always say, I really should come out here, when we could just sit down, and talk like people about, And so finally I said, okay, look, I'm going to, this year I'll do it because, I can see that the show's changing. I can kind of just see out of the corner of my eyes how, more movie companies are moving in, more of the corporate stuff is happening. What's going to happen to Marvel now that they're with Disney? I see more of the bigger agencies there. Warner Brothers is there. I see, George Lucas is, has got his own, fucking room practically, that he helps for just people that are all his licensees. And then, Marvel's doing their D23 thing, where they have their own convention now because they're so big. I don't know if you guys know about D23. They have a show in Anaheim that's just for Disney. It's just Disney. Mm-hmm. They have their own fucking convention. So there's stuff that, you don't want to be on the outside looking in. I don't want to show up in July and find out that there's lots of changes that have been made, and I don't know anything about it because I was sitting home watching fucking Judge Judy. So I said, okay, I'll go out and and for a day or two and get the fuck out of here and deal with them and talk and have a civilized meeting and then just going out for a day, come back because my wife will got my nuts in a jar. I can't fucking sit down there and play fucking stink finger for too long. You know how it is. Brian, you know what I'm talking about. You got 2 kids. Come on.
Yeah.
I'm like the commandant, for Christ's sake. You don't empty the bucket of shit every 2 days. You come back and the fucking bars are broken open, and you go, fuck. You got to try to put all the animals back in their cages. I'm like the guy with no arms and legs in the freak show. How far am I going to go?
Yeah.
So that, and then when we get back, we got the show in Pittsburgh, which is turning out, they couldn't be happier with the Warhol people, and I think it's great for comics. It's great for Alex, obviously, to have Warhol. And from the Warhol, it's going to the Norman Rockwell Museum in Pennsylvania, near you guys, and then I think it's supposed to travel around for like 3 years. So if it's any place interesting, I might have to go check it out.
That's cool.
Yeah, no, I think it's great. I mean, I think there's over 250 pieces, originals with Alex, and there's some Rockwell stuff and Andrew Loomis and Andy Warhol originals. So should be a great show. I'm a little pissed that the Steelers aren't in town, or the Penguins, or or the Pirates. Nobody. So I don't have an excuse to stay.
Well, you could do a tour of the bridges. There's like 800 of them. It'll take you a couple days.
Yeah, the last time I was out there for the thing. I saw the bridges, the main bridges, the ones they painted yellow that are right in the downtown area. And Pittsburgh's a nice town. I mean, the problem I have with Pittsburgh is that I was there maybe like the late 70s, and then growing up watching the Steelers on television, from the 70s, it was a steel town, when I was a kid. And then you go there now, and that's all gone. I think they've got like one or two steel mills left. Everything else is gone now. All, So the city's different, much cleaner than I remember. It was a pretty industrial, dirty city back in the 70s.
Oh yeah, it's still kind of depressing though.
It's a little of that, but it's interesting to see how a lot of American cities have had to kind of redefine themselves because they're not what they were in the 70s. Chicago is like that, and San Diego, my God, how much it's changed even in the last 10 years since they closed all the naval bases there, and it's not a military town as much as it used to be. Pittsburgh, obviously, even New York. Fuck, you go to New York in the 70s, it was like fucking Sodom and Gomorrah, and Giuliani cleaned it all up. So, not that it's still, fairy tale land, but what about you guys? What are you doing in October? Anything you doing? You're going to be in New York or no?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll have a booth there, and enjoying the weekend.
Yeah, I'm hoping it's the Jets are there again Monday night, so I think I might stay Monday and go to the Jets game. Oh. We went last year. We got rained out, but I got stuck going with Jets game. It's like I opened my mouth and I wind up having to go with Jagoffs that I don't want to have to go with. I'm like, oh fuck. Oh hey, yeah, sure. Gotta go with Roop and these other guys, Jesse, who sits there telling me he's the biggest Jets fan in the world. Okay, because he lives in New York. Asshole's never been to a Jets game. I took him to the game. I go, wait a minute. You spent 2 hours telling me you were the biggest Jets fan in the world, and you've never gone to a fucking game, and you live in New York. What the fuck? Well, and I'm like, yeah, right, okay. Fucking Puerto Ricans. Oh. That's Jesse. You know who else is fucking MIA?
Who's that?
None other. Angel Medina. I have not seen this fucking guy at a con in I don't know how long. I mean, have you guys seen him at a show?
Where did we last see him? Was it Toronto last year?
He doesn't do San Diego anymore. He used to be a regular at San Diego. He doesn't do Chicago. He doesn't do New York. I mean, I never see this guy. I mean, I don't know what he's working on either. I haven't seen his name listed in anything in previews or anything. So I'm just curious what he's working on.
What did he do?
I think he did Minneapolis. I saw his name on the list for Minneapolis.
I know we saw him. I think the last time we saw him was last year in Toronto. But since then, I don't recall seeing him anywhere.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Maybe he heard about me talking shit about him.
But are you sure he just wasn't there and he didn't see him? Little low
no,
behind
he's
the,
got like
behind
no.
the table?
He wears the lifts. He pulls the Paul Simon shit now, and he wears the lifts. But he even brings the phone book. But for the most part, I don't even know if he's working in the business anymore. I know he did a lot of work for Todd, on the side. Mm-hmm. And I see him on Facebook. He posts a lot. He's like on Facebook like every fucking 20 minutes. He's like a teenager, with Facebook. Man, I think he's got acne and everything, this fucking guy.
Well, maybe that's where he's working. He's posting.
No,
on
I don't know.
Facebook.
I mean, I see him on Facebook posting shit all the time. And so I don't know. I mean, obviously he's keeping up his chops. I don't know, but I'm just curious because I've known the guy for a lot of years and used to see him at every show that I was at. And he's a good guy. Oh, I saw him at Chicago last year. That was the last show I saw him at. C2E2. But that was it.
Yeah, I haven't seen his name on anything for Marvel in a while. And he was doing Spider-Man there for a while.
Yeah, but it's sad because this guy's been in the business forever. I mean, he was this guy's been working in the business professionally since he was like 18. Yeah. So maybe he just got sick of my bullshit.
Yeah, it could be. He's a guy that does get me to actually pick up the book usually.
Great stuff.
If I see his art, his name on the cover, yeah.
Great artist. That's kind of why I'm curious what happened. I just don't. I don't understand. He's always been a private guy too, so maybe he just decided, hey, he wants to, stay away from jagoffs like us, or pants.
Definitely pants.
Those fucking pants. That guy, he's like the Maytag guy. He's at every fucking show. I mean, every time I turn around, I'm like, oh fuck, there's pants. And Pants is like, he's like one of those fucking Jason Bourne villains where, you'll be paying your bill or something, and you see Pants standing there. Hey, Sal, how are you? you're at Starbucks, and you drop something, and you pick it up, and there's Pants. Hey, Pants, how are you? You see him at the weirdest places. He's like the guy fixing the escalator. Hey, Sal, how are you? What the fuck are you doing here? You go to like the 100th floor of the Empire State Building. Pants is the guy running the elevator or some shit like that. What the fuck is this? He's just and then there's other times I see him where he's not too happy to see me. I can always tell where he goes. Where he's like, oh fuck, there's Sal. Hey Sal, how are you? And he just keeps walking. Like he's going to meet an Asian hooker or something. He doesn't want to fucking drop a dime on him. Like I really give a shit. I don't fuck what he does. Because at San Diego this year, there were more dick suckers walking around in the gas lamp than I think I've ever. They're always on the prowl, but this year was worse than any other year. I swear to God. And when you wear a suit, they just figure, oh, he's got to be a convention guy. Let's go fucking see what his story is. So I had more of these fucking skanks, and I'm just like, guys, do I look that fucking pathetic that you're constantly fucking, propositioning me for bullshit? And they're not cheap either, these Russian skanks. When the wind blows, it sounds like a train whistle, for Christ's sake. You're just like, what the fuck? Reach their asses and everything, and you're like, whoa, fuck.
That's hardcore.
Well, but in the end, no, they literally drive around in cars. They drive around, we had these three broads in an Escalade. They're driving around, they pull up, and we're standing outside of fucking Noble, and I'm standing, I think I was trying to lose the people I was with. I was pretending like I don't know, I had a hemorrhoid or something, and they were getting them to walk one way. And my trick is whatever way the people walk when you get out of a restaurant, I walk in the other direction. And then you stop right away, and you stand behind one of the parking valets or something. And because they're too busy talking about Boba Fett, they just keep walking. I'm talking about, I don't know, one of those guys with the tusks and Jedi or some bullshit. So they keep fucking talking, and then I keep walking. So I'm walking by myself. Escalade pulls up. 3 fucking hot Russian bros go, hey. I go, oh, fuck, here we go. Because I know me. I don't win the lottery like that. I go ahead.
Give me your pitch.
Go ahead. So they wanted to know if I wanted to make a fucking sandwich, with me and the 4 of them. I said, okay, well, first of all, trust me, somebody's going to get smothered if I'm involved. Whoever I'm on top of isn't going to see daylight when my fat ass gets over them. Okay. Second of all, I got the standard Army issue cock, so no one's going to be that impressed. I got the one they handed out at the door, like the G.I. Joe one. Not bad, not too impressive. It's just I'm happy with it. Does the job, gets it done. Like can of Drano. It just takes care of business. Not too fancy, but the fucking water flows the next day. Everything's fine. So I said, okay, just for my own entertainment, what are you guys talking about here? So it's like they want like $2,000, for like, an hour and a half with me and him. I said, all right, listen. The last 3 times I fucking ordered a porno movie in a hotel, I fell asleep before I could even fucking finish the deed. Okay? My idea of a fucking threesome is me jagging off over 2 porno magazines. I don't need you fucking 3 Russian skanks who probably blew Stalin. All right? And now, mind you, these fucking broads, we're not talking like these Tijuana crack whores, where they look like Tiziano with a wig. These are, I was like, holy fuck, you're young? And you think to yourself, what the fuck happened in these, then you turn into like Bill Curtis, from like Detective, where you think to yourself, what happened to these broads? How the fuck did they wind up like this? When did the shit, how did it go from like 1 minute they're at the prom, getting finger banged in the back of a Le Mans to, on a corner propositioning some fat guinea from Chicago who's here to sell overpriced artwork. How did that happen? Fuck did that happen?
Oh, man.
But then I thought to myself, I go, who the fuck am I? What am I, Ann Landers? I don't give a shit. I'm just like, I told him, I said, no, ladies, listen, I'm not ready to give up half my shit. I just got all those bone busts where they all fit. And I just polished off all those back issues of Conan. I am not ready to start over. I'm just some of those early ones are hard to find.
Barry Windsor Smith, some good stuff.
Yeah, he made him look like a teenage boy, but hey, I all my Thors are done, and But it's interesting that, and I asked him. I said, "Listen, let me ask you something. But why the fuck do these skanks bother me when I'm here?" But they, and they're like, "Well, because these young guys don't have any money, and these other guys are walking around with the spears and the bullshit, and they don't have any dough, and and I'm like, well, you guys are, but you're driving around in a fucking car, fucking Proposition and Chubby Guineas on street corners. What the fuck? I mean, there's got to be a better way to make a living. I mean." You can't wear the headset at the drive-thru? I mean, what happened here? Can't learn to type or.
Hey, when they're getting $2,000 for a couple hours, that's pretty good money.
Yeah, but you got to be with me for an hour. I mean, imagine that. You got to go tell your fucking kid when you go home, how was work? Oh, it was this fat guy. He wouldn't stop talking.
Hey, but $2,000,
And I'm like, come on, guys. $2,000, I can pretend like something happened, and just.
Are you thinking about starting a business or Brian? $2,000.
Yeah.
For $2,000.
I'm like, what the fuck, guys? And it's like $2,000. It's like, well, now do you like cook and clean and everything too? Because for $2,000, I want to be like in one of them, like in Live and Let Die. I want to be in a bath where you got the sponges and you're bathing me, and you're touching me. I want the whole fucking 9 yards. You wash my hair. I want all that shit. Not just like, bang, see ya. And then I got to look for my wallet and chase you down the street naked. I don't want any of that shit. Because I'm one of them fucking guys. I'll chase your ass naked. I don't care. I'm the guy that'll shit in the McDonald's. So I'm not shy about chasing your ass naked. I'll shit in a gas station at 2 a.m. No problem. Not shy. Not one of those guys, it's too dirty in there. I don't Because that's my mutant power. They call me shitty. I can shit anywhere. I swear to God. I'll shit like I'm standing on a diving board. You just hold the position, never touch anything, let it fly, take care of business, and get out of there. You don't have to go in and fucking get comfy. I'll go out with my brother, and he's got to go home to take a shit. He can't even. I'm like, listen, we're fucking an hour away. Just shit here at Starbucks or wherever. Crate and Bear or anywhere. I go, just shit over here. No. I can't. It's not familiar. I'm like, well, what's familiar? What is this, the fucking Lamaze method where you're going to have a baby? Just take a shit. Just go. The shit's not going to get all insulted if you shit in a funny toilet. I will shit in a Vietnamese jail. I don't fucking care. I mean, right there. Boom. Just hold your hands out for more than 10 minutes and I'll shit. Right there. No problem. Coffee can, your back pocket, anywhere. Because you got to do it, right? I mean, I can't stand these guys where it's like you're out and about, and then they're like, they get all like, oh, stop being such a pussy. Just shit already, will you? So I told my brother, I says, all right, look, this is what we do. We're going to go in this place right here. I'm going to go up to the bar. I'm going to fucking order a fucking drink or something. Pretend like you're going to sit down, put your coat, and then go in the bathroom and take a shit. Okay? It's just get it over with. Drop the bombs. Like, imagine we're going over fucking, we're going over the drop site. We're going over Berlin, 1943. And we got to hit a ball bearing factory or something. And just pretend. All right? All right? And I don't even give a shit if there's toilet paper because I start doing reconnaissance on my way in for toilet paper. I never assume there's going to be toilet paper. I grab whatever. Postcard, menu, anything. Yellow pages, those are harder because not many have yellow pages anymore. So you just grab whatever, Places with cloth napkins work real well, anything. So this son of a bitch comes back like 20 minutes later. I thought, oh, wow, he must have had one of those complicated ones, or ate peanuts or some bullshit. I don't know. He's at a barbecue and had corn or some shit. Comes back fucking 20 minutes later, didn't shit. It's like, I can't do it. We got to go back to the hotel. So we had to get in a fucking cab and go all the way back uptown, like 40 minutes round trip for this guy to shit in a hotel. And then we had to leave. And I'm like, I can't fucking believe a grown man, you can't shit anywhere. And I know a lot of guys that got that problem. And that's why I said, you know what, that's my mutant power. Couldn't have been anything cool, right? You know, or I turn into an animal, or I got big feet, or, you know, my cock looked like a peppermill, or something like that, you know. Nothing good. It had to be I could shit anywhere, no problem.
Oh, my God.
And if you sit me next to Malieve or some of those guys, I'll even shit in my pants if necessary. No problem. Just put rubber bands at the end of my pants leg so it doesn't roll out, and everything's good.
So talk about strange coincidence. So I just saw on Twitter, Bendis just posted this on Twitter 6 minutes ago. Overheard. That's sad. Taking a shit in a strip club sad? Almost.
First of all, Bendis has never been in a strip club in his life. Because he's another one of those fucking dwarfs, you know, that was from Munchkin Land who was trying to look up Dorothy's dress. That son of a bitch. Where if you could fucking hide spare change in the rolls in the back of his neck, there's something wrong. Another one of these cocksuckers that walks around shows and he thinks he's a big, you know, he's too big to talk to anybody. He thinks he's fucking Ernest Hemingway because he wrote Spawn. Fuck out of here. So the other question is, I'm trying to talk to you guys, and you jag-offs are twittering. Real fucking nuggets. I'm wasting these nuggets on you guys. These pearls of wisdom.
I just saw it, and I thought I had to share. It was so
No, it's
strange.
like I said, those guys, that's easy. In a strip club, that's easy. Who the fuck? Big deal. I'm talking about a Texaco station at 2 a.m. that's run by a Korean guy. The place hasn't seen a fucking mop since fucking Eisenhower administration. I'm talking places like that. I mean, I'll shit in a hardware store. You know what I mean? Where, like, the door doesn't have a lock. I'm another one of them guys where it's like if it doesn't have a lock, people will get shot. You open up and I'm in there taking a shit, you do it at your own peril. I was shitting at Starbucks about 2 weeks ago and a lady opened the fucking door. You know? Oh, sorry. Well, don't worry about it. I was just fucking sitting there drinking my coffee, taking a shit. No problem. I guarantee I fucked up her day. I mean, the smell alone, she won't be able to lactate ever. No problem. Because I'm also at that. You get that age too, where I'm at the age where when you shit, you leave like skid marks in the bottom of the fucking toilet bowl.
Oh.
That never happened. It never happened my entire life. Now I'm like I got to flush 3 times. Otherwise, it looks like a fucking '63 El Camino fucking peeled out in front of my mother's house.
Oh my God.
And then you come out of there and you go, oh, it's not bad. And then you walk back, and then my wife will come back and go, hey, were you just in there? And I'll go, yeah, why? And she comes with, like, the cans with the flowers and shit on them, and she hands it to me. She goes, you better go back in there. You better spray because my mother's here. I go, Karen, this is my house. And listen, when you go in there, it doesn't exactly smell like fucking dandelions either. But I'm polite, and I don't say anything. I mean, I'm not shy about it anymore. Listen, I have very few fucking luxuries in my life anymore, okay? Taking a shit in my own house is one of them. Got a problem with it, go use the other bathroom. I don't go out of there like fucking Ben Grimm when I take a shit, for Christ's sake. You know? I know guys like that. You look in there and there's a hat, you know, in the toilet. You go, oh, fuck. It's like a fucking pair of penny loafers in there. You go, Jesus Christ. You know, CB stayed in my fucking apartment when we were in Italy. That son of a bitch, it's like bombs over Tokyo when he goes in the toilet. I was like, CB, what the fuck did you eat, man? It was like a fucking hand. It was like a claw. It looked like a monkey's paw. You know, somebody chopped off a fucking monkey's paw and just threw it in there. You know? It was like, fuck, CB, what the fuck did you eat? But this cocksucker eats anything that doesn't have a driver's license. The fucking guy eats everything in sight, this prick. You know, eats and drinks. This Polish son of a bitch has got a website just talking about how much he eats. Okay? And he's got an ass equally as big as mine. So I know he's dropping some serious fucking, I mean, he's fucking popping out. Fucking, he's got fucking hot Carls in the chamber all the time. So he's in my fucking apartment, and it's got like 3 bathrooms, okay? That shit came out of there like it was a fucking John Carpenter movie. I was like, what the fuck? You know, where it was almost like Die Hard, where you had to dive out the window and grab the curtains on the way out to catch yourself. The place was going to blow up. And then fucking Tiziano's the same way. He goes in there, he brings the fucking Sears catalog with him to take a shit. It's like, Tiz, what the fuck are you doing? And you know Fletch, right? From DC?
Yeah.
There's another yellow son of a bitch that when he takes a shit, he cracks the fucking porcelain. Because those Chinese fucks, they eat stuff with like eyes in there and shit. You look in the toilet and there's like a fucking eyeball looking at you and it blinks. You know? It's like a beak. Oh, fuck.
A beak.
Yeah, there was like, no, it was a funny looking beak. It was like broken. You know, where it was like an animal that fucking crawled out of a fucking, out of a garbage can and they hit it in the head with a stick and they fried it and threw it at Fletch and said, here. He said, yeah, no problem. I work at DC. Nobody cares. Go ahead. So I said, guys, how fucking hard is it to flush your toilet? But it's those European toilets, you know, where they think you got a little tiny ass, you know, where you got to flush it like 75 times and like no water comes down at all. It's like a little sprinkle that swirls. And I'm like, you guys aren't used to dealing with Americans, I guess, because you got a house full of serious shitters here. Let me tell you something. I mean, if I was putting together a fucking Olympic team of some serious shitters, we had about 3 of them, you know, in the photo right there. Brad Street, I think, was the only one who could probably outshit all of us combined. We were at a Padres game one time, and he broke the fucking toilet, and they had to go get engineering. When the guy comes with, like, the toolbox, you know you fucked up the toilet. You know, they didn't send, like, the guy with the jacket to go, oh, what happened? Did you jiggle the handle? No, they sent some Greek guy with a fucking with a toolbox who was all pissed. Like, you had to get him out of his house. This brand new shit, and it was like an arm in the fucking toilet. It looked like something fucking, like the fucking mob dropped a body in there or some bullshit. Like, so I'll leave you alone. I'm sorry.
Oh, that was some classic material right there. Pants can't breathe right now.
Yeah.
Jamie, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I do. There are times.
And there's nothing to be ashamed of, right?
No. Heck no.
I mean, guys at our age have very few fucking luxuries in our life.
Nope. You're right. A nice, good shit is one of those.
You like to go in and you like to fucking relax.
Yep.
You're a grown man. You've earned it. You know, you go in, you sit down, you buy a fucking magazine or whatever.
Uh-huh.
You catch up on some fucking back issues, whatever.
Put the ball
Sports
game
Illustrated.
on.
Yeah, Sports Illustrated's always good. You know, and I got it down to a science. I've evolved past toilet paper. I use those Huggy wipes, you know, like I stole them from my kids. You know, those fucking, you know, nice and soft and gentle, you know. And then every time I have my fucking, my shit rotted out every year, the plumber bitches at me and goes, listen, I think your wife has been throwing some of the wipes down the toilet, and I don't think that. I'm like, listen, just fucking rod the thing out and leave me alone. I'm not a heroin addict. I only drink on certain occasions, like when I got to talk to you guys. You know, I'm not like a fucking degenerate who's at the fucking track every day. What do? I flush a couple of Huggy wipes down the toilet. Leave me alone. You leave me alone? What'd you find? Plutonium? Get the fuck out of here. Just fucking rot it out and leave me alone.
And for what he's charging you, he should just do it.
Yeah. He looks like, you know, one of those fucking guys from Fantasy Island who's standing there next to fucking, you know, the fucking midget, and he's telling me what I should flush down my toilet. Get out of here. Pulls up in a truck that smells like shit. And he comes in your house, and he's got shit all over him. And he's telling me what to flush down a toilet. And my wife, well, maybe you should listen to what he said. Listen, there's a lot of fucking things that go on around this house that I overlook, all right, that I don't say shit about. So if I want to flush something down a toilet, leave me alone, will you? You know, it's not like you look in there and you go, yeah, there's a lot of hand grenades down here in your toilet, Sal. You shouldn't flush hand grenades down the toilet.
Wow.
Jamie knows what I'm talking about. Jamie,
Yeah, I do. I'm right there with you, my
friend.
brother.
Brian, I could tell he's not a serious shitter. You know.
I don't know.
No.
I have a very fast.
No, that's okay. It's not that that's something you need to evolve to. I'm just saying that there's just apples and oranges.
Yep.
Brian's not a serious shitter. Pants is one of those. Just go in, get the deed done, and get the fuck out. He's not one of those guys like me and Jamie where you go in and when you get out of there, you got to repaint the bathroom kind of shit. You know.
Yep.
Where it's like we almost need our own bathroom. like, it's like the negative zone when you come out of there. Like, don't go in there. You really don't want to go in there.
No, my father's the same way, so it's quite. We get the double team going there.
Yeah.
He'll walk out and he'll say, "Don't go in there." And I'll walk
My
out,
mother
"Don't go in there."
was probably the world class shitter of anybody that I've ever known in my life. I mean, I'm not kidding. It's like something out of a fucking Twilight Zone episode. I mean, you think you know shitting until you've gone in there after my mother was in there. I mean, you literally you wake up and you're in like Apocalypse Now. You're in the boat and my mother shits. I mean, it's like bad heroin. You wake up in your Woodstock in a VW van and you go, holy shit, Sally took a shit, huh? That's how bad it is. I don't know if it's because she made goulash or what she did in there, but man, oh man, could she fuck up a bathroom. But like the drywall just melts. We see twins and shit. It's like fucking Stanley Kubrick. It's not fucking pretty. No. Like if you sent the Immortals in there, they turn around and go, "Fuck this, let's get out of here." Those Chinese guys with the pointy teeth would take the masks off and run out of there. They'd go, "Fuck you." Sally took a shit in here? No. Fuck that.
You'd have to go in like Golden Age Sandman just to go.
No, you'd have to get like it would be one of those ones where you'd have to like send people out looking for villains to help you. It'll be like a crossover issue because heroes wouldn't be enough. You need heroes and villains to go in there. Like Doctor Strange would come out of there and go, "Fuck this, I'm going back. I'm going back to Greenwich Village. Let me get the fuck out of here." You're gonna need like cosmic shit, like Herald. Like out of work heralds of Galactus, or ain't doing anything. Fire Lord and some of them fucks. Send them in there, and they might have a chance. But even then, it'd be fucked up.
Fire Lord burns a match.
Yeah, like young Magneto. He might have a shot, but he'd still come out of there with the helmet off and his hair all messed. Like fuck. Whew, this is fucked up.
That's why Xavier lost his hair.
Yeah, even Xavier would get up out of the chair and walk away and go, "Fuck this! I can't put up with this shit much longer." Galactus would go, "Leave me out of this shit."
I'm not eating that. bathroom.
No, leave me out. Because my mom, I'm telling you, sometimes you'd go, "Mom, what the fuck, man?" I mean, and it would be like you'd be on the other floor. You could be downstairs, and when she left the door open, when she came down, you'd be like, "What the fuck?"
The fog.
Yeah, no, like the cops dropped like canisters of mace through the windows, like it was a drug bust or something.
Oh my god!
You got to come running out with a fucking bandana around your face. You look like a fucking Mexican bank robber or something. My wife will kill me because she'll go, "Oh, listen, you don't want to go in there. You really don't. It's embarrassing." And I'll go in there and I go, "That's it? That's your best fucking shot?" I go, "That's like the cat cuts a fart. It smells like that. That's nothing."
Yeah, amateur.
Yeah, when I come out here, you got to use like 3 kinds. You got to mix the Lysol with the flour shit, with some of that Febreze, but the Febreze is like the industrial one with no label on it. And when you mix all 3, you might start cutting into some of it. But the rest of it, you got to go at it like when Buffalo Bill, when they found the body in Silence of the Lambs, you got to put the Vicks under your nose. That's how it is.
Oh my god!
You go in with the tape recorder. Yeah, this is a rough one. This was a 3-flusher. Sal fucking had like a souvlaki plate yesterday, and then that bag of Doritos didn't help.
Oh. Awesome.
My Lord.
We always drag this into like
It always goes into shit.
listeners jumped off maybe 30, 40 minutes ago, and they clicked back on and go, "Are they talking about comic shit?" And then they heard me talk about shit again. They go, "Oh, fuck, that fucking greaseball's still on." Because I love the posts where they go, "Why do you guys have him on? I just don't get it. What is it that he has to contribute?" And I'm thinking to myself, what the fuck is it that we're supposed to talk? We're supposed to talk about fucking Bruce Wayne the whole show, or I don't understand how that works.
Well, there's been a whole lot of posts and tweets over the last several months. When you gonna get Sal back on? When's Sal coming back on?
That you guys are just being nice.
No.
Yeah, you're right.
They listen to the show because they want to hear you guys, talk about comics and shit. But you guys always have a.
Not always. Not always.
You guys had any comic artist guys on recently or no? Anybody I know give you a hard time or no?
We talked to Cully Hamner recently.
Okay.
I'm trying to think who else.
Fraser Irving.
Yeah, Fraser Irving.
Fraser Irving.
Yeah, Fraser Irving. I always get that name backwards. I always screw up names. That's my shtick.
Well, that's right.
Irving Fraser.
Yeah, because I was talking with some of the Howard Stern guys at San Diego. I guess they got a show on Sirius now called Geek Time. It's on once a week. You know, Ralph Sorello and
Yeah.
and Cotton from Wizard.
Yeah, Mike Cotton.
Never been a big Cotton guy. You know, he's one of those guys that was a jagoff when he worked at Wizard, and then when he got fired, now he's a nice guy to me. But he was a total jagoff to me when he was at Wizard. You know, if you weren't big enough, you know, they wouldn't put you in a magazine. You know, so I ran into because Howard's a big fan of Alex's because he came to one of Alex's signings in New York about 10 years ago when he had back when they had the Warner Brothers stores. So Ralph comes over to the booth at San Diego, and huge comic guy, and we start talking, and he said, "It's a show. He wants to get Alex on the show." I said, "Yeah, great, you know." But I've listened to the show, and he has guys on there, and they do what you guys do, or I should say, they try to do what you guys do, but there's no personality into any of it. You know, they'll have Jim Lee on, and Jim Lee's on there, and he talks like he's got a stick up his ass. And you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's not just guys talking. You know, I mean, it should be more about Jim Lee talking like the way he would talk to you if he was sitting, you know, at a bar with you. And when I hear these guys that have these shows about comics, especially when you got, you know, fucking Cotton running a thing, believe me, the guy's no fucking Engelbert Humperdinck when it comes to talking about people, you know. And it's all of what I always said was wrong with these fucking podcasts that you guys nailed, that these other podcasts, you know, 99% of which have come and gone, could never seem to figure out. They either take themselves way too fucking seriously, which there's nothing wrong with if you enjoy, because let's face it, we love this stuff or we wouldn't be doing it, you know, the way we do it. But, you know, you also got to remember that, you know, we're still just a bunch of jagoffs, you know, that like comics. So you should be able to talk to each other like, you know, your friends at school or, you know, your brothers or your whatever. You're just a bunch of guys busting balls. So when I listen to it, I hear it, I go, this is fucking, you know, nauseating. You know, they'll have on, you know, Dan DiDio or some of these guys, and it's just like they get on there and they talk like they're fucking selling insurance. You know what I mean? There's no personality in it. You never get the feel of what these people are really like, past where they got an agenda, they want to pimp something, they want to get off the fucking show, you know. And it's like, guys, come on. You take yourself way too fucking serious. You know, you need a beating. A lot of these guys. You know, and I'm too old to kiss their asses, which is why when I see a lot of these guys, I'm like, hey, how are you? You know, Axel is different. Axel I've known since, you know, Axel Alonso, since back, when he was an assistant editor back at, you know, at Marvel, at DC. And always been a nice guy. Always got along great, and he stopped by at Toronto. We were talking for a long time, and he's a great fucking guy. Glad to see that he's, you know, recognizing. He's always had a good job over there, but when they made him editor-in-chief, I wasn't surprised. But he's a really good guy. So if you ever approached him to come on the show, he would do it in a minute.
That's good to know.
He's like one of us. Super sweet. You're much, much more approachable and a nicer guy than Quesada. Quesada's a nice guy, but Axel's much more down to earth and likes to talk about, you know, everything from baseball to the Bible. He's a sweetheart. So if you ever see him at a show, he's completely approachable. And you know, loves the job. So, you know, he would sit down with you guys in a minute. So if you you see him at New York or whatever, I wouldn't hesitate to talk to him.
Yeah, well,
I mean, we don't hang out. I mean, we know each other from a million years ago, and when we see each other, we talk. But you know, we don't get on the phone and, you know, talk about porn or anything. Talk about, you know, don't talk about, you know, Nikki Knockers or Stacey Stacks or anything. We just, you know, candy samples or anything like that. But
oh, thank you for that 70s reference.
you know how you know you're getting old is when porn stars you used to watch as a kid are dead. Then you know you're fucked up. You know, you'll ask about something and they'll go, oh, no, they died. You'll be like, huh? What the fuck? You know, or I seen a picture of Peter North the other day, and it's not looking good. You know, pretty fucking old now, some of these guys. You go, God, it's terrible. I saw a picture of Christy Canyon, and it was like, oh, my God, she's like looks like my mother. No, she's just she looks like she looks like a housewife. She doesn't look like that bodacious skank she was in the '80s that got me through college. The videos when the Korean would get pissed off that I didn't rewind them. I got stuck buying one of those fucking things because I left it in my car and the fucking pricks at the car where I stole it. So I had to fucking wind up in college. Now, mind you, I'm eating Top Ramen and fucking Jell-O and trail mix. And I got to pay like $50 for backdoor bonanza or some bullshit with Chris Canyon in it. I was like, what are you fucking kidding? The Korean guy, I go, what are you fucking kidding me? This thing's been watched already about like 50 times the first half hour you had it. And I got to pay you $50 for it, you piece of shit? And like, yeah, we'll charge it to your credit card. And I'm like, credit card? That wasn't a real number. I was in college. I'm like, yeah, charge it to my credit card. Go ahead. Have a fucking laugh on that one. Credit card. Well, my credit card number, I wrote on there, 222, fuck you. The advantage of a jagoff that can't speak English, you don't know. He takes it down like, I thought he was fucking J. Paul Getty. He'll put up a video store. Buy a college. All you're going to rent is porn. I had fucking roommates that wouldn't leave the house. They'd come out of there like albinos because they didn't see the sun. They'd sit home and watch so much fucking porn. The fast forward was broke on my VCR. These pricks would fast forward through all these shit. You'd come home and you're like, you fucking guys are still watching that same scene? The two broads fucking making themselves into a sandwich? The same one?
Wow. It's been an hour.
Don't tell me you guys didn't indulge in college. Everybody in college indulges in a little fucking... Well, that's pre-internet, so...
Hey, I'm not denying it. No. What the heck?
But you guys are younger. You had the internet. See, we didn't have the internet.
How young do you think any of us in this room are?
You fucking guys aren't as fucking old as I am. Listen, you weren't watching Starsky and Hutch when you were in grammar school.
I was.
Jamie, you get fucking judged on a curve because I like you. These other guys.
I'm 45. I did all that stuff.
Oh no, I'm not. Listen, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying you guys are fucking choir boys. Yeah. I'm just saying that if I had the internet when I was in college, forget about it. I'd never leave the library. Sure. I'd be like one of them fucking Asians that actually went to the library to study. My wife was one of those people. She went to the library in college. I didn't even know we had a library when I was in college.
I went to the library to sleep. They had nice, soft, cushy chairs.
I was an RA in college, if you can believe it, because I didn't have any money. So I did it for one fucking year, and I said, fuck this. I'm getting out of here because you get the free rent and you get the, But you got to put up with all the bullshit. I was like Schneider on one day at a time. Every time somebody fucking blows a light bulb or gets in a fight with their roommate, they come knocking on my door at 2 in the morning. I'm like, what do you want me to do? Lights out? Go fucking buy a light bulb. What is this? The fuck do I look like? And you get the free rent, but I said, no, I got to get out of here. It was more fun to starve than it was to fucking be an RA. You got to go to meetings and organize field trips. What is this? The fuck do I look like, Julie McCoy? Fuck that. Yeah, Sal, this semester, have you organized your semester field trip yet? I'm like, what? Oh, you mean that money you gave me? Fuck, I spent it. You're supposed to use it to organize a trip for your. I'm like, oh fuck. I bought like fucking Domino's with it like every night last week.
Trip to the video store.
Yeah, I paid the Korean off, for the 17 fucking videos. And then remember in the old days, you tell them what number? Nah, it's out. 816. Nope, don't have that one either. And then finally, you're ordering shit you wouldn't even want. You're like, you got the Muppets, Take Manhattan? Got that one? Just brought it back. Let me rewind it for you. And you're like, what the fuck am I doing here? I got Annie. And you're like, yeah, throw it in. Why not? Have a twofer tonight. I watch Annie and Muppets Take Manhattan. Got Footloose. No, I want to see a movie about fucking Fremont, Ohio. I'll just go see Chris.
Oh, man. They're making a remake of Footloose now.
Yeah, I heard that.
Yeah, man. It's like, can they dance in that part of the country now, or are they still going to want us to believe that is it set in like fucking in Iraq, or what the fuck is the story with this one? Because the last one, you saw it and you're like, yeah, there are parts of the country where they won't let them dance, huh? I guess that shit goes on. I mean, I don't know, but I don't see the fucking need to remake it. I thought it was fucking shitty the first time.
Yeah, well.
But what do I know?
They got nothing else to do, so they'll remake that.
Yeah, I liked Kevin Bacon in the X-Men flick. I thought he was great. He kind of surprised me.
Yeah,
Did you see the new one, First Class, whatever the fuck it was?
I really
I
enjoyed
liked
that.
it. I thought it was very good. Kevin Bacon was great in it. But now a lot of those characters were kind of like embellished, right? I mean, based on what they were and they weren't. I mean, weren't a few of those made up? Wasn't like the black guy? Was he really in the book, or was that kind of like
No, those were they threw some characters in there that were
okay? That's what I
composites of
thought.
other
I'm like,
characters. Yeah.
I knew all of them, and I'm like, I don't remember him. The evolution guy or whatever.
Yeah.
He adapts to that. I mean, was a lot of. But then again, I haven't followed I haven't followed a lot of what they've done with the books, to the letter in the last 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
I thought maybe it was a lot of stuff that I missed or whatever.
No.
I didn't know that Nightcrawler's mother was Mystique. When the fuck did they come up with that?
That's 90s, I'm pretty sure.
Is that what that was? Yeah.
Yeah, like I want to say X-Men Unlimited, one of those, like number 4. I remember that was. It was one of those numbers, and I remember when I was working at the store, that was one of the books that everybody wanted because it was, that was a big reveal.
Okay.
And they've gone back and forth where yes, she is, no, she isn't, all that stuff.
Okay. I just never knew that there was that much cornholing going on. I just figured, hey,
Well, they're both
these guys just kind of happened, And who was the father? That funky-looking guy looks like my high school gym teacher.
Was it Azazel or
The devil-looking guy? That's
yeah,
the father?
I think they were kind of hinting at that was what it
Was
was.
it now? Was he in the book too, or was he just kind of made for the movie?
That was a new one. I'm pretty sure that was made for the movie.
And the guy with the storms, he was made for the movie too.
Again, a composite of some other characters. Adam was talking about that in his Rain Man-like way that he remembers characters that had one appearance 40 years ago.
Okay, I couldn't understand why they couldn't make Banshee like the redheaded Irish guy.
Yeah.
I mean, he's redheaded, and why not just go the whole fucking route and make him, sound like the gardener from The Simpsons? What's so hard about that?
Yeah, Leprechaun from the Charms commercial.
Yeah. But I liked it. I saw it at Toronto, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, it was good. I'm gonna have to pick it up. It's come out on DVD.
Yeah, Brian's probably got like illegal shit that he bootlegs.
I don't do that.
No?
No,
Buzz used to be Mr. Fucking Illegal Bootleg. I don't think he does it either.
I'm too much of a fan of movies, so I don't risk, those bootlegs. You never know what quality you're going to get, and I can't handle if it's not perfect.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I just wait. If it comes out, I grab it, or if it comes out, on demand. It's hard. It's so fucking hard to go to the movies when you got, your weekends are spoken for with kids and everything. I wanted to go see the new 8 movie. I didn't even get a chance to see that. It came and went. These things come and go so fast now. I didn't even see Cap. I haven't even seen that yet.
Oh, you didn't see Cap?
Oh, wow.
No, I didn't see it
I'm
either.
telling you, man, these movies, if you don't see them in the first couple of weeks, they're gone. They pull them out, and they move on. So I usually wait till, Blu-ray or on demand, where I could sit and just, And I'm also becoming one of them those crusty old fucks at the theater, when the kids are talking and they're on their cell phones. I pay $20 at Jagoff's on his cell phone. I'm going to tell him to shut the fuck up, And, you like you said, you want to sit down and watch the movie, and a lot of people in the theaters don't act like Jagoffs.
I wish they had those cell jammers at theaters.
Oh, yeah.
That would be great.
You just need a big sock filled with manure. You just whack the shit out of them with it when they talk during, It's like, why pay $25 to listen to these assholes talk about, and then they want everybody to hear their conversation, how cute they are and all that bullshit.
I always like when they answer, well, I'm at the movies. It's like, well, why'd you even answer the phone then?
Right. I go to the movies so I don't have to talk on the phone. I don't want to be fucked with when I'm at the theater. I turn the phone off as soon as I walk in. The best thing I ever did was when I started turning my phone off like 4 hours a day. Best thing I ever fucking did, so that nobody bothers me.
You just get some time to just, be a human being again.
Yeah.
And catch up on your porn collection or something.
There are things to do in that 4 hours.
Well, I got my my writing. I'm trying to fill out those those forms to get people to reinstate Busty again as a magazine. But they're not buying it. Just somehow it didn't make the cut.
Dear Larry Flint, I want my Busty back.
Yeah, like those packs that you'd buy like at 7-Eleven where there was like 5 of them in there. They were like $12.
Yes,
they don't have.
I know what you're talking about.
The best of, Cowboys and Pussy, stuff like that. Farm girls, just random shit. And there's no ads in them. It's just like recycled photos from like the last 20 years. They're grainy, black and white shit, like a bra ad. They put shit in it that doesn't,
So from the 70s, you're like...
Listen, in the 70s, when I was growing up as a kid, you'd have to beat off to a bra ad or something. You didn't have porn. I mean, you like a box that had a picture on it or something. You didn't have fucking crazy shit they got now. My God, Playboy's hit the shit though, pretty much, hasn't it? I mean, is that still like a heavy duty magazine? Their circulation can't be anywhere near what it used to be. I mean, I know that. My God, when I was in advertising, their circulation was like 40 million or some shit like that.
Holy crap.
Yeah, it was at one point, it was insane. I mean, the thing was thick. The thing was like, it was like an inch thick. And now with all the men's magazines and the internet and all that, it can't be, it's got to be a couple million now because I know that they're hurting, they closed all the offices. I think they got one office here in Chicago now. That's it.
I bet you're right because a lot of times, like, for instance, Scarlett Johansson, for the longest time I went to see her naked and bam, now it's on there because someone hacked into her phone. So you don't even need to buy the magazine.
You don't. I mean, that's what killed Wizard. I mean, my God, you can get your comic updates like 5 times a day now. By the time the thing comes out once a month, who needs to see another profile of Billy Tucci? It's like, come on, guys, fucking cares? Or Jill Thompson with the photo from high school. They do profiles of the same 4 assholes. And if you just get to a point where you're like, who the fuck wants to see Bendis? Raking leaves naked or something. Who cares? It's Garib wants to see that shit. That's what killed those magazines. I mean, think about it. Who the fuck is going to waste their time reading Playboy now when you got the internet? It's all free. I mean, anything you want from celebrity photos that the paparazzis take to the hardcore stuff that you just and Hefner let his daughter run the company into the ground. I mean, it used to be an empire, for God's sakes. And then any guy that lets his fucking daughter run his company, can't be all there. I mean, too much of that cucaracha pussy just ate his brain, I guess. Got reality shows with those 3 skanks. It's like, are you fucking kidding me? It's kind of sad what's happened to Hefner, because Hefner growing up was really a guy to admire, because this guy used to hang around with, Lenny Bruce and Miles Davis, and he was like the cutting edge of, writers and musicians, and he was a real fucking intellectual. And then you see now where they got him on these shows with, 3 skanks he met at a bar, and they give him their own fucking reality show, and you're like, what? The fuck happened to this guy? He's hanging out at Dragon Con with pants now,
I would love to see that.
Picking up, back issues of Killdozer or something, You guys know what I'm talking about.
Yes, unfortunately we do.
Jamie, you always wanted to stick your head up Raquel Welch's ass, I heard.
She and I actually have the same birthday, believe it or not.
Really?
Yep.
I only say that because my brother used to have such a hard-on for Raquel Welch. My God. And when he found out she was fucking Jim Brown, it was all over. He wouldn't. He's like, can't do it.
Oh, no, I'd still do Raquel
Like
Welch.
I said, if I seen her at a con, I'd still give it to her now, like today.
She's hot.
Yeah, she's got to be, fucking 150 years old?
Probably.
She looks like fucking driving Miss Daisy at this point. You're like fucking Jessica Tandy, only, you put the bikini on her from 2000 BC and pretend it's her.
I think her hooters are still bigger than
I
Jessica's.
don't
So.
ca- yeah, I mean, I hear she's a piece of work, but who cares? I don't want to. What do I want to talk about the Mets? I don't give a shit. And I love when guys go, "Oh, she's not much to talk to." Who fucking cares? Barbara Eden was at Toronto with Larry Hagman.
Yeah.
Barbara Eden in her day was a tremendous piece of ass. I'm talking pre-I Dream of Jeannie. You know, she let her shit go after I Dream of Jeannie, but before I Dream of Jeannie, my God, you know.
Motto.
Yeah, it's like Anne Margaret was like that before she got crazy. She got like hit in the head with a meteor or something. And Anne Margaret got like taken in a UFO and got fucking cornholed by aliens or something because she's fucking like batshit crazy now. This broad was fucking hot. I mean, hot.
Yeah.
You ever seen that movie with Elvis?
Oh,
Because
yeah.
you know Elvis was fucking pile driving that broad. She was squealing like a broke dick dog. If that hillbilly was in a movie with her, you know, he was fucking. You know that Elvis, because that fucking hillbilly didn't fuck around. So she comes out now and she's like, yeah, she fucked Elvis, but she won't talk about it. The broad who played Batgirl on the TV show.
Yvonne Craig.
Craig.
What is that her name?
Yeah, Yvonne Craig.
Yeah, she was at Toronto, and she was talking about how she used to fucking get hammered by Howard Hughes.
Oh, okay.
Before Batman, she was like a budding actress, and he had her on the payroll. And you know, there's another guy who's fucked everything. You know, if he stood still more than 20 minutes, a fucking fish stopped swimming when he came in the room because that guy'd fuck anything. So she was talking about how he used to fucking slip it to her and give her a check and how crazy he was. But it's like, who cares? The guy was, you know, you were still giving it to him because he was rich. You know, if it was me or my Uncle Nazy, you'd say, forget it. You know. Jamie knows what I'm talking about.
Yes, I do.
Jamie, you wanted to give it to Batgirl, didn't you? I think you did.
Yes.
Didn't you give it to her on the motorcycle?
Yes, I did.
Brian was telling me that.
Yes.
That you rode on a bicycle backwards or some bullshit with her, some shit like that.
It was freaky. It
She
really,
had
really
to change
was.
her tampon or some bullshit. You had some story, I remember.
It's
Was
really
that
not
you or
for
was
the...
that Pants? Pants was talking about how he saw her at like a midnight screening of, you know, fucking Johnny Come Lately and Three Men in a Barn that he saw her at the Bijou. The Bijou. Oh, over there at the Roxy on fucking Sunset. Yeah. Now, how many? Whatever happened to all the jag-ups you used to have? You used to have like 25 guys on the show. What happened? Did they all just decide I was on tonight and said, "Fuck this"?
People just got shit to do, you know? Murd's stuck at the beach still, and
Ooh.
Shane's selling his house, and Mike's got an audit at the movie theater. It's, you know, they just can't come.
So just give them their papers. Tell them ass, cash, or grass. Nobody rides for free. What the fuck, guys? You know? Want to be part of this fucking gravy train, you got to get the, you know, fucking show up or get the fuck out. You know?
Hey, what do you know?
Listen, it's like when you go to the amusement park, you always stick with the guy with the keys. If you're not driving, stick with the guy who drove, because if you get separated, you're fucked. Can't get in. Can't get a ride home. You got to lie in the parking lot to somebody or steal a car, you know. Hot wire, you know. Steal a golf cart and you're fucking flying down Manhattan. One time, me and my friend stole a golf cart because we lost it. We got separated. Cop pulled us over. Where the fuck are you going? We're like, well, we saw it and it didn't have a name on it. Didn't have a name on it. Yeah, we thought it was complimentary or some bullshit. They weren't buying it. They called my old man. I called my old man. My old man goes, yeah? Yeah, hi, Mr. Evan, we have your son. He's like, yeah, good. Now I know where he is. Leave him there, because I ain't coming to get him. I used to tell the cops, don't call my dad, because I know he's going to tell you. He's going to tell you, fucking leave him there. You know, my dad wasn't going to get up out of bed to come get my ass. Are you kidding? No way. You know, especially if he was watching like Mannix or Rat fucking Rat Patrol or some bullshit or Land of the Giants. He'd watch those horrible TV. He wasn't going to give up fucking Ponderosa or Bonanza to come get my fat ass out of jail. There's no way. You know? He'd be watching fucking like Matt Helm or some bullshit. You know?
The M Squad.
Yeah, exactly. That's the shit our parents
Lee
used to watch.
Marvin.
What was the yeah, those fucking war shows, you know, where they're all shot on the back lot?
Combat.
You know? Rat Patrol, right? Wasn't that the one?
That was one of them.
Yeah. My old man used to fucking live. You couldn't even talk when that thing was on. Shh, shh. What is it? Fucking Rommel was on there? What do you need to hear? They're going to, you know, or Marcus Welby, some fucking horrible shit you'd have to be quiet for. Like, what the fuck are they watching?
Oh, my God. All right, it's been 2 hours.
I'm sorry, guys. I should have shut up a long time ago. But I don't have anybody to talk to. I can't talk to you. Nobody will talk to me. I'm all by myself.
They'll tell you to go another direction. You're driving the wrong way.
Yeah.
I'm like those guys in fucking POW camps. I got to remember everybody's name because, you know, when I get out of here, so I can tell everybody. Nobody will talk to me.
Well, we had a blast.
Yes.
Sal is hilarious.
Guys, you probably don't need to have me on for another year now, right? Is that how it works?
No.
It'll be more often, we promise.
Because when you see me at shows, you always send over like the biggest collection of jagoffs you could find.
Well, make sure we do that again at New York. Then there you go.
Oh no! Actually, there was so many nice fucking people came over at Toronto that had no idea that I was even there, but they went over and talked to you guys, and then they heard I was there, and they came over, and you know, weren't familiar with me or anything I was doing, but they'd heard me talk about shitting on the show, and they had to come and you know, see and listen to Alex Maleev look in the mirror and comb his hair. It's a pretty pony.
My pretty
Why not?
pony.
Yeah, and the French guy next to me. Oh God, you know, like sound like the guy selling mouse. You know, like a fucking cheese in that Mouse movie that my kid watches. That fucking Pixar flick.
Ratatouille.
Yeah. And then the other guy was next to Maleev. Who was next to Maleev, Jamie? The guy with the mohawk.
Oh shit!
The other guy does all the Marvel covers.
Oh yeah, Marco
Georgievich.
Yeah.
Sure, yeah.
Super fucking nice guy. That guy I liked. Super nice guy. Could talk a lot of shit. You know, very, very. I guess he's unhappy with Marvel. I guess he quit Marvel or whatever. There was a big, you know, whatever the fuck happened. I don't know, but nice guy. Very, very nice guy. You know, but he had me in the, it was like fucking Ellis Island over there in that row. It was like the Hall of the Substitute Heroes he had me in, for Christ's sake. Fucking Polar Boy and Matter Eater Lad, and had me over there with all these jagoffs, Pharaoh Lad, and all these pricks. Where's fucking Superboy and Lightning Lad, or people I know, Tiz? And every time Tiz would walk by, he would act like he was fucking on his way somewhere, like he was the captain of a ship. Oh, I can't talk right now. Fucking, you know, the guy from the villain from $6 Million Man needs a Kit Kat. I can't talk right now. Okay, never mind. You know. But then when he comes with me and he comes to San Diego, you see him sitting on the couch like he's fucking Merv Griffin. You know, he's there with his legs crossed. You know, with a drink, he's got a martini, he's got the ascot, and we're breaking for a commercial now. We'll be back after these mess. You know, but when I go to Toronto, he treats me like I'm one of those fucking cunts in the lobby asking for like a free pass or something. I'm like, Tiz, I asked you where I was going to ask you where I can go take a shit, and you're telling me, oh, no, I ain't got time to talk to you, Sal. You know, Barbara Eden needs a tampon or some bullshit. I don't know. Larry Hagman has to change his Depends or some bullshit, you know.
Oh, boy.
Funny 'cause it's true.
All right, sir. Well,
right,
try to
gentlemen.
enjoy your October.
Yes.
Don't work too hard.
Well, it's all good. I'll see you.
See you in New York.
Yeah, a
If you
couple
guys
weeks.
if you guys can make it up to Pittsburgh, we'll be at Pittsburgh October 1st at the Warhol Museum. So
Okay.
I know that's. I don't know. How far are you guys from Pittsburgh?
4 hours.
4 hours.
Yeah, about
Oh fuck! See, I'm one of those I went to public schools. I think you like you know. Yeah, Pennsylvania, same shit. I figure, you know. And then but you know, then we'll see it in New York.
Yeah,
Definitely.
Absolutely.
absolutely.
But yeah, if I don't hear from you or talk to you, then you know, take care of yourselves. Sorry if I offended anybody. You could talk shit about me on the forum. I don't care. I don't read it, but I hear about it. No, I hear about it. People tell me I don't agree with all the bad things they say about you, Sal. You're a nice guy. I'm like, well, thanks. I didn't know that you talked shit about me before. You know, his always highlights him and sends him to me. This guy says you're a jagoff. Oh my God, what? He's telling me something I don't know? My wife tells me that every day. I don't give a shit. Jamie tells me that every time I see him.
Yeah, I do. You realize I hung around you so much in Toronto, I am now starting to use jagoff when I talk about idiots. Look at that jagoff. I never
Well,
used
you know
it
what
before.
I'm talking about. Jamie and I were sitting back there. It was like a fucking. I was like Dick Cavett. We were talking so much shit about everybody in sports and bullshit and fucking balloon knots and all kinds of sick shit. You know?
Yeah, it was. It was crazy.
Three-fingered Magillas, and fucking Roman helmets, all kinds of sick shit. Fucking hot Carls, all kinds of nasty shit. Alabama shooters.
How are we going in?
No, it was pretty. It got pretty fucking bad.
Yeah, it was.
It was pretty
times.
fucking. It was. Yeah. It was. It was not a pretty sight.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay, ladies.
All right.
All right.
Well, have a
Listen,
good night.
As always, thanks for having me on. I always enjoy myself. And,
Fantastic.
and like I told you before, anytime you want me on, just give me a holler. There's
We will.
There's no pomp and circumstance necessary.
Absolutely.
We
I'm like the
promise.
the Chinese guy when you need food. Just call them up. They don't give a shit what time it is. There's no holidays. Just call them up. Where the fuck am I going? Oh, but Sal, we didn't think. Oh, fuck. You got me confused with one of those assholes.
All right, buddy.
Yeah, take
You
care.
got to have me on at least every fucking other time that Tiziano is on.
Absolutely.
Once a year. Give me a fucking break. You should have Tiziano on at least every time you have your prostate checked. Otherwise, that's it.
Every 2 years.
Yeah, there you go. He has a fucking beauty salon and he's not gay. Come on. Cut it out. Need more cocks than a Marine Corps doctor, that son of a bitch. He ain't bullshitting anybody.
Leave on a high note.
All right. I'm going. I'm sorry.
Good night, sir.
I'll talk to you later.
All right. Bye-bye. Thanks so much.
Oh my God, Jamie! I've been looking at you all night long. I thought you were literally going to fall out of your chair and drop dead. You were laughing so hard.
Oh, my God. It all started when he called Chessbone Ernest Borgnine. That was it. Oh, my God.
Oh my God!
It's like a workout. It really is.
Oh God!
All right. Well, make sure you stop by the Alex Ross booth at the New York convention and
Yes.
say hello to Sal.
Yes.
Because he appreciates that. All right. This episode was brought to you by superherostuff.com. For a huge selection of superhero stuff at great deals, go to superherostuff.com, and you can't go wrong. Check that out. All right. If you'd like to send us an email about how much you love Uncle Sal, it's comicgeekspeak@gmail.com. If it's how much you hate Uncle Sal, send it to bullshit@comicgeekspeak.com. Leave us a voicemail, 267-702-6642. You can check out our website, and you can listen to all the old Uncle Sal episodes at comicgeekspeak.com. Follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Comic Geek Speak. We're on the forums, thecomicforums.com. Thank you for everyone who has donated to the show. We really appreciate it. And as always, we are uniting the world's mightiest heroes, one listener at a time.